Well, there you are now. Good evening. Welcome along. Who'd have thought? Who would have thought? Good evening, friends. Welcome to Live Irish Myths, episode 100. And tonight, there is no plan. We are just going to chat and talk and enjoy ourselves and enjoy each other's company in this circle, this tua, this little tribe that we have gathered around the hearth from the four corners of the world over the past 100 days. And what a great honor and a great pleasure it has been to welcome you, each of you individually, every night, every evening during that time. And to have reached this epic 100th episode without a break. There have been a few interesting episodes, a few mishaps, a few crossed words from time to time. Most of the time, I'd like to think we've had fun together. We've had an enjoyable time. Better get to it. I'm going to welcome you all first. I have no plan to be out of here in an hour. I'm going to stay as long as I think people are interested in chatting. That might be a couple of hours, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to do the usual introductions. I have a couple of things to say, a couple of announcements and that. And then we'll see where it goes from there. On YouTube this evening, the Irish Technical Thinker says, episode 100 is something to be proud of, but also remarkable how effective storytelling can really be. Absolutely right, Marcus and Rachel. I will return again when it starts. Peace and love. And that was actually left at 5:47, which is an hour and 20 minutes ago. Jack Durkin says, hi, Anthony. Glad to see you. Fáilte, Jack. Erica Bow says, Trónónua to all for the 100th episode. Hello, Erica. Full Irish GK says, Fáilte, good evening all. Congratulations on your 100th episode. You are the coronavirus vaccine for the good and powerful Tua. Well, I'd like to think that keeping people indoors during that period has helped them to stay safe. But thanks for the comments. Archaeoastronomy Database says 100. Amazing. I made sure to arrive early to be sure to get a good seat. Yes, and get a good seat and welcome. Sandrine Brady says, Bonsoir de France. Good evening to the Myth Tribe and happy 100th episode, Anthony. You've done a wonderful job in bringing us together every evening from so many parts of the world. Bravo. Well, I hope you have your little glass. I have my little glass of vino. And I tell you, I might refill it too during the evening. Don't be afraid. We might raise the glass a couple of times to toast a few people. Mez Marion is in the house. Sorry, I skipped a few messages there. I don't know what happened. Oh my God, there's so many. I apologize. Could take us a while to get through these. Yes, bravo, Anthony. Blessings for us all. What a pleasure to be here. Banachti, Marion, thank you for coming along. The Woodsies and Monaster Boys. Did somebody say centenary? Not difficult, that. Well done, Anto. Oberwa. Thank you to the Woods family. Mandy McCurl says, thank you, Anthony, for bringing us together. Episode 100. Wow, you are gathering the clan and facilitating our remembering. Well, I'm glad to do it, Mandy. Didn't realize when I started. I keep saying, go back and watch episode 1. I hadn't a clue what I was doing. I didn't know where it was going to lead. And it's been good. Daisy Peter says, that's my heart appointment. My sacred time is here. Love chatting with my dearest two of the Mythflix. Good to meet you, Anthony, and all. Finally, is the episode 100. Yes, indeed, Daisy. Great to see you along also. Erica Rivertree says, Banachty, Louisville, Kentucky, 100th episode. Gorgeous. Thank you, Erica. Welcome along. Sharon Holt says, hi, Anthony, and everyone. I've just come across this last night, so I'm catching up on the last 99. LOL. But glad I'm here for the 100. You'll have quite a catch-up to do, Sharon. You'll be binge-watching for days on end, but I hope you enjoy it. Sandrine Brady, he's talking to Mandy, yes. Jackie Stevenson says hello and congratulations on the 100th episode, Anthony. Hello to the wonderful Mythflix to don't know where tonight's episode will lead, but it will be lots of fun. I'm in exactly the same boat, Jackie. I haven't a clue where this is going to go, but sure, it'll go where it goes. Philip Blair says, hip, hip, hooray. Thanks, Philip. Tracy O'Connor says, great milestone, Anthony. Something magical has emerged. Well done. I think the magic has been emerging for a while, hasn't it? Yeah, it's good. And there's something I want to say on that front, but later. Stella David said, it worked, hooray. Hi, everyone, from Manchester, UK, but I'm a Londoner. Fáilte, Stella, very good evening to you. You're welcome along. Nate is it Brydenbaugh? Says, greetings, Anthony. Congratulations on this milestone. Thank you, Nate, and welcome along. Philip Blair wants to know, what's your favourite mishap so far? I don't know whether it was trying to get... Saskia does not like sitting on people's laps, and she jumped off, or whether it was the plate. I think it was the plate smashing in the kitchen. And was that episode 4? I think it was. That was funny because everybody was worried about what had happened and were saying, go on out and check. And I could see my daughter was there saying, it's okay, it's just a plate. Philip Blair says, aloha from the great state of Washington. Fáilte, Philip. Very great to see the West Coasters in the house. Dunworks is who's Kevin says hello from Ballyfin. Cheers, Anthony, a legend. Thanks, Kevin. Hope you're keeping well. Sandrine says, I have my glass of champagne. This is brilliant. Great to hear. Seamus Maher says, happy 100th. That's funny. I don't look a day over 40. Seamus, it's lovely to have you along for this special celebration. And on Facebook. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, this is going to be a long one. Elaine Dent Lingenfelter takes the honours of being the first commenter tonight, saying happy 100th from Little Whitney, Texas. Thank you, Elaine. Alex Casterton. Oh, they're disappearing. Alex Casterton says hello. Let's kick back, have a few beers and have the crack. Yes, Alex, indeed. Kirsten Salisbury says hi, Anthony, and lovely to 100,000 blessings for the 100th episode of Magic and Wonder. Melanie Lynn, you'll get a special mention in a moment. Anne Garrity Smith says happy 100. Hello, Anne. Aaron Durrett is watching. Fáilte. Joy Buckner Winkles says greetings from Minnesota. Because there's so many, these are disappearing on me. I have to get through them really quickly. Apologies for the quick talking. Mike and Jeanette in Princeton, New Jersey are saying hello. Barbara Barney is here, says hi, Anthony, happy 100. Thank you. Alex Casterton, happy 100 show. Whoa, it's flown by. Yes, indeed, Alex. Fiona Newman says no plan is always great. Exactly. What can you lose? Hello, Fiona. Janet Moran says Yahoo 100. Congratulations, Anthony. Fáilte, Janet. Ralph Waldron. I had my tea earlier today to be in time to meet the two on this auspicious occasion. Brilliant stuff, Ralph. I hope it is not raining in Athleague. It's dull here, but the rain has stopped. Kathy Mark says happy 100th anniversary. Oh, and it's gone. Guido Bruce is watching. Bernie Courtney says happy 100. Well done. Thank you. Muvanwi Millward says happy 100. Lots of love to Anthony all the Tua. Thank you. They're literally disappearing. Margaret Ring. Hello, Anthony. I missed it. Nora Gaffney O'Connor says, Giagiv Galera, sea was cold but lovely. How are you all? And Anthony, great. Lorna Evers Monaghan says, crazy to think it's the 100th episode. Fair play to you, Anthony. Oh, this is ridiculous. I can't go back to them. Cheryl Ann McFetridge says, happy anniversary. Cheers. And from Sunny, missed it. Reese Casterton says, happy 100. Hi, Reese. Guido Bruce says, congrats. Barbara Kling says, hello, everyone. Sorry I can't join you live today. I have another class. Don't worry, Barbara. You can catch up later. Jermone says, hi to everyone on this lovely occasion. Alwyn Roy Badziak says, happy 100th, everyone. Frias Shohom says, gorgeous Anton August Dua. Gratitude and love to everyone for this amazing experience. It started already. I have to fly through these because they're literally disappearing as I'm Nick Eska Casterton says, hey, Anthony, happy 100. Can't thank you enough. I've learned so much. Thanks, Nick. And I'm learning every day. Woohoo, Tua, says Aaron Durrett. Blessings and congrats to you, Anthony. Love and blessings to you all. I've got ideas for the chat. Oh, brilliant. Melanie Lynn says, Gigrich, Anthony, and Tua, happy 100th, Anthony. Thank you. Paula Snow Queen, happy 100th anniversary. Thank you, Paula. Dora Sahara, hello, Anthony, happy 100th. Tomek Plusenik says, happy 100th episode. Congratulations. Thank you for all your hard work on the aerial images, Tomek. Greatly appreciated. Federica Guy says, hi, Anthony and Tua. Whoa, 100 episodes. So wonderful. Time spent all together. Ciao. Jules' cousin says, hello. Ailey Fitzgerald says happy 100. I'm just waving. Let's get through them quickly. Vicky Rourke says happy solstice. Ron is switching computers. Brilliant stuff. We'll mention that momentarily. Alex says, thank you so much for the last 100 days. My pleasure. Gillian Smith says, good evening from Wales. I'm honoured to be part of such a wonderful tribe. Fáilte, Gillian, it's great to see you in the house. Burr Whelan says, hi, everyone in the tour. Great achievement, Anthony. Congratulations. Asher, look, it's easily done. Neil Hughes says, Trenonoa, Anthony from Coatbridge in Scotland. The Magic 100. I have my glass of wine. Mary has her tea. Brilliant stuff. And welcome to both of you. Anne McCallum says hello to Anthony and the mighty Tua. Congratulations. I've got a Smithix in the wings. Brilliant. Donna Firer says, so wonderful to be here live. Anthony, your storytelling is uplifting and so calming, except for when I'm racing through comments. I know. I will slow down momentarily when it's all calmed a bit. Welcome from Maryland. Hello to all the Tua. Thank you, Donna. Paula, Snow Queen, happy days. Let's get tipsy. Yes, indeed. If that, by all means. Patricia McAteer is watching. Fáilte. Tom King. Good evening, Anthony and the mighty Tua. A blacksmith's blessing to one and all on a very special occasion. Incredible. What a milestone. Thank you so much. Jules' cousin says, 100, fantastic. Hello, Jules. Kimberly Halligan says, congrats, Anthony. Fáilte, Kimberly. Jacinta Paisley, happy 100th anniversary. Thank you so much. Hi to all. I only came in late in the episodes, but love them. I'm having a glass too. Brilliant stuff, Jacinta. Fáilte. Sharon Keenan says, congratulations on 100. Well done. Thanks a million. Greetings from Southampton. Hello and good evening, Sharon. You're welcome along. Megan Walter says, congrats on 100. Hi, everyone. Gia Gutch. Gemma McGowan, congratulations on 100th episode, Anthony. Fáilte, Gemma, good evening. Kelly Edmiston says, Sláinte, and thank God it's Friday. Great day to have it, Kelly. I didn't plan it that way. Lorna Evers Monaghan says, now I want wine. Somebody get wine to that lady. She's in Slane in the Boyne Valley. Tom Breslin says, well done from Carmel, New York. Hello, Tom. Good to have you in the house. Raymond Lawson says, hello and congratulations. Congratulations, Gia Gutch. Sandra Patterson, hello to I missed you yesterday due to birthday celebration, but looking forward to tonight's open mic night. Sandra, a great pleasure. And if it was your birthday, happy birthday. And if it wasn't, happy birthday to whoever's birthday it was. Happy 100, says Mariana Dunn. What an achievement, linking us across the globe in this amazing journey through Irish mythology and more. Thanks, Mariana. Glad you're enjoying it. Yvette Tillema says hi to love to you all. And thank you, Anthony. I can't believe how much I learned and how kind we have all been. Yes, it has. That has been one of the traits, the hallmarks of the thing, has been how wonderful people have been to each other. A nice safe haven amidst the storm. Kate Mila, Mythflix, Tua Galair, delighted to have walked this path with you all. Anthony has created a breeding ground for like-minded friends. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Tua. Tiernan, my son, watching for the first time tonight. Fáilte. Tiernan, hello. How are you? Paul, that's lovely. Thank you for that. Robin Edgar says, greetings from Montreal, Anthony. Were you able to get some photos of the occultation of Venus last night? It was actually this morning in Ireland. I didn't. I'll be honest. I was in the bed. Rebecca Byrne is watching. Hello, Rebecca. That's my niece. Good evening to you. Patricia McAteer says, happy 100th and thank you. Hello, Patricia. Roger Hanna says, congratulations. Really enjoy these tales and the Tua. Very good evening to you, Roger. Donna Sue Tackett says, I try to watch at least part each day while working. So glad I got in on today's 100. Donna, you're very welcome along. Adina Sparks says, hello, Anthony and all the Tua. Gia Gutch. Barbara Murphy, I wasn't going to miss this. Gorgeous greetings to all from Tucson, Arizona. Great to see another Murphy in the house. Thank you, Barbara. You're very welcome. Sandra Patterson. How did Anthony accidentally align up episode 100 and a solar solstice? It's in the natural alignment. Yeah, it's just the way things happen, isn't it? One of those, what was that episode called? Synchronicity, serendipity, and spontaneity. Barb Jordan says, happy 100th. Fáilte, Barb, great to see you again. Jules' cousin says, I have mead and a cuppa. Good thing, have one to wash the other down. Kelly Edmiston says, happy birthday on your 100th. Yay. I don't look a day over 40. I keep saying it. Samantha Healy says, hello, 100 Fáilte. Samantha. John McAndrew says, good afternoon from Rochester, New York. Congrats on 100 episodes. Wow, thank you. R Saltveet says, happy 100. Thank you very much. Angel Barboni Smith says, hello, everyone, and happy 100th. Fáilte. Angel Rowan Grove says, greetings from cool and cloudy Colorado. Celebratory raspberry mead in my cup here. 100 episodes. Anthony, how have you survived? My greeting disappeared, so I'll say it again. Thanks, Rowan. I have survived. That's another subject about how I do sometimes burn out. Samantha Healy says, good evening, everyone. Hello, Anthony. Fáilte, Samantha. Brendan Long says, happy 100. Brilliant. Hello, Brendan. Welcome along. Margaret McKenna, happy 100. Thank you, Margaret. Cindy McCarthy Smith, happy 100. Fáilte. Emilia Nivas Kelly, saludos y felicidades desde Argentina. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, Emilia. Welcome along. Liam Ohanin says, best wishes from Beale. Fáilte, Liam. Regina Riley, hello all. This has been wonderful. It's wonderful because you guys make it wonderful. That's why. Jules' cousin says, congrats and fantastic. Hello, Jules. Cy B says, happy 100. Well done. Thank you, Cy. Welcome along. Donna Fire says, we all love this so much. Candace Hamilton Bohonic says, 100. Awesome. Brilliant stuff. Burr Whelan says, hi, everyone. The two, a great achievement, Anthony. Congratulations. Hello, Burr. Sally Siggins, congrats, Anthony. Looking forward to the next 100. A lot to live up to, I think. Teresa McGuinness, all together now. Pat Rowan's in the house. Hello, Pat. Happy 100, he says. I hope you're well, and I hope that it's going to be a good Friday for you. Desiree Riley says, happy 100th. My dear Tua and Anthony, I'm so excited. I don't know how I would have made it through lockdown without Mythflix and the Tua more than a couple of times. More than a couple of times. You all have gotten me through some days in the last 100. This is the kindest, most compassionate group of humans I've ever come across. With so much wrong in the world, it is so nice to have positive daily reminder that there are still great people out there, and Anthony deserves more than a round of applause and time for the dedication he showed this Mythflix crew. I'm just taking a note here. Sorry. Just things I need to say before, the evening is out. Candles are lit for you all. Thank you, Nora. Joe Butler says, happy 100th, and thank you, Falcha. Joe, you're welcome. Vicky Wallace-Suddle says, hello, my lovely friends, episode 100. Hello, Vicky, and if Evan is there, hello, Evan. Margaret Kiernan says, hello, Anthony, and all, great event. Falcha, Margaret, good to see you again and have you along. Patricia Healy-Sullivan, thank you to you made the 100 days go by. Feel like old friends now. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Paula Snow Queen, how fast can Anthony talk? One wonders. Yeah, I know. Then occasionally he has to slow down. Paula, it's great to see you. Ailey Fitzgerald says, it's not even noon here in California, so I can't drink yet. Oh, yeah, it's evening time here. It's a little bit easier for us. I apologize for rubbing your nose in it. Jane Lidkey says, 100 days. Congratulations. Hello, all. Giagutch. Robin Edgar, I have a Quebec brewed Boreal Noir Stout in hand. Cheers. Cheers. Did you hear the clink? Vicky says, wine on the way. Judy McQueen says, hello all. Falcha, Judy. Julie King says, hello all. Happy 100th, Anthony. Falcha, Julie. Marta Lopez Garcia says, 100th. Congratulations, Anthony and Tua. You're amazing. Cheers. They're an amazing bunch of people. Thank you, Marta. You're very welcome along. Dawn Hilton says, hi, guys. Thank God for Friday. Hi, Anthony. And happy 100, everyone. Love you. Love to you all, tribe. Love from Lancashire. Falcha, Dawn, Graw, Moore, or Louise Sherrill says hello again. Falcha, Louise, good to see you. Kristen Gray Taggart says, I think my earlier comment may have vanished, so I just wanted to make sure to say Guramahagut to Anthony, our wonderful storyteller, and greetings to the awesome Tua. Thank you, Kristen. Welcome along. Patricia Lochran McTague says, listening and watching on YouTube, still working, boo, but wishes on that side for you too. It has been an absolute pleasure tuning in. Congratulations on 100 episodes. Thank you, Patricia. It's a great pleasure to have all of the regular viewers as well. Trina Nee Irk says, yay, party episode, gorgeous. This is the episode where the chocolates and the wine get wheeled out. Patricia Langton is watching. Dawn Hilton says there's no sun in Lancashire. Anne Garrity Smith wants raspberry mead. Somebody fix that lady up with some of that stuff. Brendan Burns says, congrats, 100. Don't stop there. Here's to 1,000. Let's see where we can go with it. Veronica Casey says, hey, Anthony and all, it's party time. 100. Yay. Paul Gowan, it says, Anthony, and lots of applause symbols. Thank you, Paul, for everything that you have done in the background as well. You've been a great, what shall we say, a great friend of the series. Julianne Osborne is watching. Hello, Julianne. Hope you're well. Lexi Erickson says, thank you for your recent info on Newgrange. You're very welcome, Lexi. That was really, really fascinating, and that's going to cause a lot of debate for some time to come. Patricia Langton says, well done for the ton, Dublin-wise, for 100. Fantastic, Anthony. Thanks, Gurmila Mahagut. Thanks, Patricia. Lovely to see you in the house. Always a pleasure. Maeve Fina Callahan says, greetings, Anthony and Tua. Happy 100. Falcha, Maeve. Una Sheehan is watching. Hello, Una. Very long-time friend of mine. Hello, Una. Hazel Bartley O'Hanlon says, whoa, congratulations on your 100th episode. Thank you, Hazel. Hope you enjoy it. Lexi Erickson also says, congrats on number 100. Thank you. Erin Suniva McHugh says, hi, Anthony. So grateful for your work as always. Hello, Erin. Falcha. How's life with you? Haven't been talking to you in ages. Hope you are keeping safe and well. Vicky Rourke says, a bottle of Pellegrino water. My drink of choice when I dig. That's absolutely fine, Vicky. Good. We're fairly up to date now. Just checking YouTube again. I don't want to leave the YouTubers out. Can't be doing stuff like that. Arya Flower says, Fiascar Ma Anthony Augustua, today connected from my YouTube account. Greetings to you all from Emka. Hello, indeed. Maria Kuzingolu says, Falcha, good evening from us in Athens in Greece. Hello, Maria. Greece is in the house. Great to have you along. Sandrine Brady, Sláinte, cheers à la vôtre. Irish Technical Thinker says it's Irish blueberry mead for me tonight. Very nice. I'm going to have to try some of this stuff. When this lockdown's over, I'm calling around to all the people who brew mead, and I'm going to have a taste. Stella David said, just found you all this week, so I have lots of programs to catch up. It'll be a pleasure, and I'll learn lots. Hopefully you do, Stella. Great. We appear to be fairly up to date, so we can start whatever we're starting. Thanks for saying so. New baby boy is the light of my life. Oh, lovely. I wonder what his name is, Aaron, and we'll say hello. Rowan Grove says, I don't think I've ever participated in a group with so much talent and generous sharing and so very little snark. Wonderful group, wonderful leader. Yeah, Rowan, it is constituted. The group is only as good as its members. I know we're not an official club, but look, we're practically family at this stage. Long T Menosy says, thanks, Anthony, for facilitating 100 gatherings and take a bow. Also the tour for your amazing interactions, knowledge and humour. Glasses of wine shall follow you. Yeah, and that's a good point, is that the interaction has been fantastic. And the way that, we cross-discuss things and you come back with so much positive feedback. And, so many insights and new insights. And it helps me enormously. Patricia Healy Sullivan says, I'm putting some vodka in my iced coffee. Bedside cocktail. Why not? Absolutely. I think I saw Francis Tute there. There's so many now. Francis, you're very welcome along. This group and the presentations are a bright spot in my day. Thank you all. Love and blessings, says Jane Lidke. Thank you. Love and blessings. Gra agus banachti. Anyone know Morse code? Miriam McChira says, hello. Thank you, Anthony, for your knowledge, passion, and warm spirits. Launch you. Thank you, Miriam. You're very welcome along. Paul Campbell says, I've been spreading the word about the 100 episodes on the trot. Congratulations, Anthony. Thanks, Paul. You're very, very welcome along. Renee Weinberger says, I can send some legally from the USA. I make mead at home. I will. Sorry, if I can send some legally from the UK. From the USA. I haven't. I've only had like a few sups of wine. I'm not drunk yet. Anna Pittarina says, congratulations, Anthony, all happy anniversary evening. Hello, Anna. Thank you very much. Kristen Grey Tiger says, wait, blueberry mead. Where can I acquire this tasty sounding beverage? Well, just between us, that is Irish Technical Thinker who goes under the name of Marcus in Belfast. So there. Curtis Lee Dolan says, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? Monumental Ireland says, congrats, Anthony, on 100 shows. Thank you, Monumental Ireland. Great to have you in the house. Jason says, well, I'm late again. No, you're not. This is an all-night party. Brian James McLeod says, Giagich Conasata Kursi Lat. Good evening, Brian. Welcome on. Catherine McGath is watching. Hello, Catherine. Haven't seen you in ages. Hope you're keeping up that wonderful art. Curtis Lee Dolan says, my family's from Cavan, Ireland, before they settled in the USA. Lovely part of the world, the lakes of Cavan. Guido says, I still have a couple of bottles of cherry mead. Next time I'm in Ireland, I will bring you a bottle. Good stuff. I can't wait to taste this stuff. I've never had any of those home-brewed meads. Elaine says, 2 quick questions. How did you become so interested in the myths of Ireland? What is your occupation when you aren't educating and entering? Actually, one of those things I intended to speak briefly about. The other one, yes. My day job. Okay. Yeah, that's something I can talk about very briefly. I don't want to bore you because this isn't about me talking about me. This is about me talking about you. Robin Edgar makes a very important point. a little bit of mutual respect goes a long way. Even if there is some disagreement, and there's bound to be some, it can be handled in a civil and respectful manner. Absolutely, not like the way some conversations online degenerate into insults fairly rapidly these days. Leo Layden says, Fáilte, Anthony, congratulations. Thanks for all the sharing and giving us something to look forward to. And Leo is in Sligo. Thank you very much for the kind words, Leo. Fáilte. Thank you, Gillian Smith, for your kind words as well. If you think blueberry mead is good, says Brendan Byrne, you should try blueberry wine and elderberry wine, all made in Glendalough. You have me. First day I can get outside my neighbouring county, I'm heading to Glendalough. I'm loving the chat, says Dolmac McDermott. Good evening to you. Welcome along. Okay, so there's a few things tonight, and I'm not going to be saying on YouTube, skip, because the episode is the episode. We don't have a plan. There are things that have to be said. The first and most important thing that has to be said tonight is happy birthday to Melanie Lynn. Melanie is a long-time viewer of Mythflix. I met Melanie last summer in Ireland as part of a tour group, and we had, I think, a very special time, our group, at the Hill of Tara. Melanie, I don't think you probably won't mind me. I hope you don't mind me saying that, you know, you've had a few challenges over this past year. You've been unwell and you've recovered well, and I wish you all the best for that. And could everybody please join me in singing happy birthday to Melanie? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Melanie. Happy birthday to you. I have to be careful of the tuning there, Melanie. Have a great day. I also have to say hello to Barb Jordan's dog. And Barb Jordan's dog is a retired greyhound. And her name is Main Squeeze Louise. And apparently Main Squeeze Louise watches Mythflix for the occasional appearance of Coda and Saskia, and is one of those Mythflix dogs who, when they hear Coda barking from the screen, from the phone, barks in response. So hello, Main Squeeze Louise. I can't let the occasion pass. So this morning, at around 10 o'clock this morning, and I'm working at home these days, and so the doorbell doesn't ring very often because of the COVID situation and because of physical distancing and all that. The postmen and women just usually, the delivery people usually just leave stuff in the porch and knock the door. So the doorbell rang at 10 o'clock this morning, and there was a courier outside, and the courier van was pulling away as we opened the porch door, my wife and myself, and there was a box in the porch, and it was an Amazon box, and I'll show you the box. So this is the box, and I'm standing there going, and my wife's looking at me going, Did you order something on the internet? I said, no, I didn't. So I just want to say, and this is going to be embarrassing for her, I don't care, because I have to say thanks. I received a very special gift from one of the Mythflix tour, sent from across the Atlantic Ocean to aid me in future presentations of Live Irish Myths. It is none other than a digital projector, a brand new one, a very nice one, so that in some of those episodes where I'm talking about astronomy and photography and stuff, that I can put a screen up here in the background and project pictures onto the screen, and actually show you some pictures of the things that I'm talking about. And I know there's been a few episodes where it's probably been a little bit difficult to follow. So I was moved to the point where I was nearly, I was emotional, let's just put it that way. And I want to say thank you to Desiree Riley, because it came with a little note that said, congratulations on 100 from Desiree. So thank you. So some of the future episodes are going to be great fun, because we'll be watching. I'll be moving to the side, and you'll be watching pictures on a screen, and I'll just be. That'll be great fun. A proper lecture. Yeah, I hope you're not too embarrassed, Desiree. And I know that you weren't doing it for the mention, but it has to be said. Thanks where thanks are due. Vicky Rourke, who has joined us. Paul Gowan was very helpful with that, says Desiree. Yes, indeed. Yes, he was. Vicky Rourke reached out to me today. Vicky's longtime friends with Professor Ronald Hicks. Professor Hicks has been mentioned in, I don't know how many episodes, but I reckon it was at least a dozen. And as you know, I'm very fond of, I call him Ron, is Professor Ronald Hicks of Ball State University in Indiana. We met by the most bizarre of coincidences in 2005 at Millmount at Summer Solstice. You'll remember that, because we did that. That was one of the big stories in the episode we did about serendipity and spontaneity and synchronicity. I believe that Professor Hicks is watching us, thanks to Vicky, who is, as I say, a friend, and is round there with him. Now, I'm not sure, Vicky, if you can give us feedback. But I just wanted to say that it is a great honor for me to have Professor Hicks watching. He has inspired me no end, and his work and his introduction to me and my introduction to his work opened up a pathway to get Island of the Setting Sun published. As you know, I was having difficulty at the time with completing the book, and meeting Professor Hicks was the key to tying up loose ends, as it were, and to getting the book out. So it would be great. I'm going to actually try and I can't remember exactly how to do it offhand, but I know Margaret is going to be joining me in a little while, and Margaret's got a few words to say. That's Margaret Ring, who is the co-admin on the Mythical Ireland community page on Facebook. In the meantime, when I remember how to do that, I actually immediately, oh yes, I know how to do it. Yes. Pat Rowan, I don't know if you're on the road. Pat, I can add you at some stage for a few words if you wanted to. If you wanted to come in and join. I have to try and hold myself together tonight, folks. I told you this is open-ended. I have no time limit. I'm already emotional. I really need to get a grip of myself. I can't spend the night like this, because I won't be able to talk. Anyway, Ronald Hicks, Teresina Fitzpatrick says hi from Mayo Falcha, Teresina. Ronald Hicks was kind enough to put together some words for Mythflix and for our celebration, and I'm going to read them, and I hope you enjoy them. Solstice Thoughts from Ron Hicks, compiled by Vicky Rourke, 19th of June 2020. Greetings and best wishes to all of Anthony Murphy's Facebook friends. Ron sends his best wishes to all of you for a happy and meaningful solstice. In Ireland, gathering for hilltop bonfires was and is a wonderful way to celebrate the longest day of the year. Harry Lambert says hi from Athenry. Falcha, Harry, welcome along. Ron, like many of us, is intrigued by the recent DNA discoveries in the Boyne Valley. He informed me that, to the best of his memory, the only tales in the literary evidence of incest occur in the Boyne Valley. There includes the more commonly known story in which Conchobar, or Conor MacNessa, and his daughter Dectana take refuge in what is probably Newgrange. Thereafter, Dectana became pregnant. The Uli, which is the Ulstermen, were troubled since they did not know the father, and they surmised that Conchobar had fathered the child while drunk, for Dectana used to sleep next to him. Conchobar then betrothed his daughter to Sualtam, son of Roach. Dectina was greatly embarrassed about going to Sultan's bed, that she lay down in the bed and crushed the child within her. This is part of Cuchulain's conception story. And Ron reminds us that Cuchulain's conception has a number of somewhat disjointed tales associated with it. The second tale, clearly linked to the summer solstice and incest, is the perfect tale for today, and it can be found in the Metrical Dinchanicus. That is the one I read to you folks 2 nights ago in the episode about the new findings about Newgrange, about how Bressel Bodibad was the king, and there was a cattle famine, and only 7 bulls and 7 cows and 1 bull left, and he gathered all the men to build him a tower from which he could pass to heaven, and his sister cast a spell on the sun to make it stand still in the sky so that there would be endless day. But Bressel followed her and had union with her, so that place is called Ferta Quillia, from the incest that was committed there. Night came upon them then, for the maiden's magic was spoilt. Let us go hence, say the men of Erin, for we only pledged ourselves to spend 1 day a making this hill, and since darkness has fallen upon our work, and night has come on, and the day is done, let each depart to his place. Dua, darkness, shall be the name of this place forever, said the maiden. So hence are Dua and Knockdua named. Clearly, and these are Ron's words, clearly, at least the introduction to this tale is Christianized. It is in all probability a reference to the summer solstice and occurs at Douth, which has a sunrise alignment for the solstice. This links beautifully to the DNA incest recently discovered and raises many fascinating questions. Ron and I hope that you enjoy these tales. We hope you will read up on archaeology and it says, and archaeology, as I presume it means anthropology, and even consider taking a class or 2. If you are a neo-pagan or a neo-druid, we feel that the more science you incorporate into your practice, the more accurate it will be. That is, of course, up to you. Ron's video feed is dead. He's listening on my cell phone, says Vicky. Thanks, Vicky. And it's a great delight to hear that he is listening. In closing, we thought it might be fun to share the place where we excavated together back in the 1970s. It is Mounds State Park in nearby Anderson, Indiana. The American Midwest is full of many mounds, including bank and ditch structures. We emphasize that these structures were built by Native Americans and are related to cultures like the Mississippian, the Adena, and the Hopewell. Some of the mounds at the park have a solstice alignment. Sorry, Vicky says it should be archaeoastronomy, not archaeology. Yeah, no problem. Normally, we would go to the park for pipe ceremony with the Miami Nation, who still see it as a sacred place. COVID makes this out of the question. Sláinte, Ron Hicks. And I'm going to... sorry, if you don't mind, I'll paste in the link to that place, which was at the end of the message. I'll just paste that in as a comment here, so you can follow it if you wish to have a look at it. Sorry now. I apologize for the delay. Copy link address, paste into... No. Click on it and then copy it is probably the best thing to do, yes. There we go. There it is on YouTube and coming up shortly on Facebook. Archaeoastronomy, yeah, says Archaeoastronomy Database. So, there we go. How many cows, Megan? That was 7. 1 bull and 7 cows. I'm not sure, did Pat Rowan respond? Pat, are you able to take a video call right now? Pat, just if you're listening, or you might be on the road, and it may not be safe for you to do so, if you're able to pull in and just send me a message, if you can take a quick video call, I'll add you in here and you can say a few words, unless you're shy, of course. Margaret Ring, your turn, I think. If I can add you in, I will. It's not always possible. I can add Tom, I can add Patricia, I can add Pat, I can add Patricia, I can add Gillian Smith. I can't add Margaret Ring. I don't know why that. Does anybody know how I can make it sort of force add somebody? Pat says, sure. Okay, well, we'll add Pat in first. Pat, I'm going to just call you now. So you're going to be, if you answer this, you're going to be live alongside me, and just say a few words to the Tua. I might have to put the volume up when you answer. It says adding, so I'm not sure how long it takes. Pat may have to press a button on his phone to say accept call or whatever. And we're waiting. Not getting any response there, Pat. Are Boan and Bonya the same? Yeah, they're just two variants of the same name, Deborah. And as with all of the names and place names in mythology, there's a proliferation of spellings. There's a Pat, I'm not getting any response there. No answer, it says. So we'll try you again in a few minutes. I want to see if we can get Margaret Ring in. I can't add you, Margaret. That's okay. I am going to switch on, allow viewers to send you a request to join the broadcast. Please respect. I'm doing that to try and allow Margaret in. It's asked me to rotate my phone. Paula Snow Queen says, are you doing a summer solstice live tomorrow? Yes, I intend to do a solstice live from Newgrange at some point tomorrow. I can't promise when. Keith Carmody says, hello, Anthony and everyone. Congrats on the 100. Thank you, Keith. Ron says, the river name is derived from Boan's name. Yes, indeed. And we had an episode about Boan and the whole origin of that early on. I'll try again, Pat. I'll try and add you again. Just give me a second here now. Margaret, perhaps you will... is there some way that you can send me a request to be added? Okay. I'm trying again, Pat. Icon, green button. Yeah, but Margaret is not. Margaret doesn't have a green button on her. That's the problem. When I bring up the list, it doesn't say add on it. Okay, I'm trying to add Pat Rowan. This is live TV for you. These are like technological. These are things where in normal broadcasting, you have a whole load of technical people in the background to do all this stuff and make it all happen, you know. Still not getting an answer from Pat. And still don't have a green button on Margaret. Ah, well, live TV. There you go. I can't get an answer. No, that's not working. No answer. Okay, that's all right. For the moment, we will try again. Margaret, as soon as I see a green icon beside your name, I'll try and add you. Okay, somebody's saying that the volume of your voice has diminished considerably. Okay. Is it back again, I wonder? Yeah, okay. I'm gathering that it's the volume has dropped, but is it back again? Ah, Margaret, you're addable now. It's better now. It's interesting. Let's see what happens when I add Margaret. Adding Margaret. Adding. Takes a minute, this, doesn't it? It's a good job with plenty of time. Strange one. Okay, so I'm trying to add Margaret. It's saying added. Sorry, it's saying adding. Let me know if the volume goes back down again while I'm trying to contact Margaret. Volume changes when you try the calls. It drops when he's trying to call out. Smooths out again for me. Voice dropped again. Dang. Don't know what's going on there. I blame this on Facebook. The YouTubers won't be able to see the other guest anyway, but sure they'll be able to, hopefully, they'll be able to hear. They'll be able to hear the guest. There were two questions there which touched on stuff that I was supposed to say anyway. One was, where did my interest in the mythology really begin? And the second one was, what do I do in terms of a job? Well, the first one, the answer was that I was to say thanks to Richard Moore anyway, who was my co-author on Island of the Setting Sun. He at the time we sort of hooked up and got to know each other in early 1999, which is over 21 years ago now. He wanted to know more about astronomy, but he was the one who's kind of really sparked a great interest in me in the mythology. And that is really where the mythology interest began for me. Was in the beginning of 1999. I had been interested in astronomy since I was a child, and I had a fairly sort of enthusiastic interest in the mythology, or sorry, in the archaeology, in the monuments and the excavations, etc., etc. So Richard is the one who kind of really sparked that interest, and I'm very, very glad that he did. And here we are, 21 years later. Somebody, the same questioner, always wanted to know. Also wanted to know about my day job. I am actually I work in newspaper journalism. I have done since I left school. I've been working in newspapers for 26 or 27 years. At the moment, I work as a sub-editor and graphic designer for 2 national newspapers. And I'm working full-time from home since the COVID situation developed. So that's what I do during the day. Believe it or not, fairly busy days, some days, such that, I find it very difficult to do any sort of preparation for live myths some days, as you can imagine. Paul says, volume goes to about 1/3 on each call-out attempt. Similar happened. The lady's name evades me now. Morgan Daimler, yeah. Well, sure, look, Margaret will be doing the talking, so I'm going to try and add Margaret again, and I probably won't have to say too much. But if I do, sure, I'll just raise the voice. Okay, Margaret, I'm sending the request there now. Connecting. There we go. Success.
Because I had to turn my phone.
And Pat had the same difficulty, yes.
So I've had to take it off my thingamajig, the thing that holds it.
Yeah.
So it's like balancing on my laptop now.
Yeah. Just before we go too far into this, can everybody hear Margaret okay? Because it doesn't matter about me in this portion. Margaret's going to say a few words. So it's important that somebody tells us, can we hear Margaret? If my volume has dropped, that's okay. But if you can hear Margaret, that's fine. Will somebody just comment and say they can hear Margaret? Yes. Jason says I hear her. Yes. Okay, Margaret, the show is yours.
Okay, well, I just want to tell a little story. Me and Anthony, am I paused? Oh no, I'm back on. Well, me and Anthony are friends, right? And so I sent him, when he started the Mythflix, I sent him an email one day, and he went live about 5 minutes later after I sent the email, and I went, all right, he hasn't seen the email, he'll see it later on. And the next thing you were filming from Millmount, remember that?
Yeah, Drogheda, yeah.
And on the live feed, I said, Anthony, I sent you an email. And you said, yeah, I saw it, but I didn't have time to read it, and I'll read it when I get home.
That would be typical, by the way, of me and emails.
Yeah. So, anyway, the next thing from behind you, I saw the swans flying up the Boyne estuary, and I went, oh my God, you have to read the email. And so I'm going to read out what I sent to Anthony that day. And that was earlier on in the Mythflix, wasn't it?
Oh, it's at least 50 episodes ago, yeah. Probably more.
It's a while. It's about maybe after the 5th one or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to read what I sent to Anthony. So it's a mythical Scaelbiog and a Tua call to assemble. That's what it's called. It's a little story. A few miles from Newgrange and the magical Brunaboyne, a great king named Anthony O'Murraku sea warrior or sea battler. That's what it means in Irish. And his Queen Anya, and their children, and the mighty vocal hound Coda, and the two coloured-eyed husky Saskia, resided in a hinterland named Drogheda Aha. How's my Irish there, Anthony?
It's all right. It's better than mine.
Bridge at the ford. The great king was for years beavering away, that's Shamanic, on the banks of the Boyne, visiting the great monuments and Éru's ancient past, after a dream he had on meeting the Cealla. The great king's heart had been called, but he was the loneliest king that ever lived. He climbed the cairn of Doth and sent out a call to the ancestors in his forlornness, so that they may hear his longing, and that they may give him a sign, and that he may follow this quest and calling from a true heart of the Tua. Now, after many years of blogging, book writing, and photography, that's modern day mythology, 2020 AD, the great king was given a new gift to add to the four gifts already known by the Tua. The gift was the Irdilion, and that's the internet in Irish, and I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it right or wrong. I looked it up today. Brilliant. Now, the king was elated. Sorry, I paused there.
No, you're okay.
Okay, so I'll go on. Now, the king was elated and built a monument, a Láithreán Greashán, that's a website in Irish, and named it Mythical Ireland. The great king realised he could construct a virtual monument in honour to his ancestors, and that it would be a great henge, so that many could gather without even leaving their sheep. He was given the gift of the Larscal Google Maps, and each night he travelled up and down the fields of Ireland, discovering lost sites, mounds and forts. The king was so happy and shared his delight with all. He was a true Tua at last. I keep pausing. He was a true Tua at last, flying like the whooper swans over valleys and dales of the beautiful Éru. His enthusiasm could not be contained. With the help of his trusted friend Richard Morha, that's Richard Moore, they travelled the length and breadth of the beautiful Bruna Boyne in the quest of the hangman. As a thought had occurred to them that above so below could be proven, and so he availed of the gifts that had been bestowed upon him. The great Orion in the sky that looked down from his celestial place in the cosmos was indeed reflected in the sacred spot on Éru known as Bruna Boyne. The king was by now so sure of his destiny. There was no stopping his passion. And with the blessing of his sure and good Queen Anya and family, he took to the skies with the ongoing gift of this modern age of the Tua, and finally used the drone. It was so new that the Irish language hadn't a name for it yet. It was like the Dogda's harp had taken flight. With his steadfast friend Ken Williams of the Illiam clan, I think I'm pronouncing it right, and on the day after the land of the Bruna Boyne had been laid arid due to the lack of Ishka from the sky, and with their new gifts flying in the beautiful blue air, an ancient henge made itself known to the king and his friend on that fateful day in 2018 AD. Oh, what a scale it was. Everyone around the world wanted to talk to the king. He couldn't keep up with the interest in the glorious henge. The Tua were so happy so that a great and ancient monument should instill such excitement around the world. It was monumental indeed. Not long after this, a great sorrow came to the world. An enemy of the people called Corona COVID suddenly spread a dark cloud over the land. It had silently appeared in the night and caused much sickness to the people. The king was beside himself with sorrow, as he could not visit his beautiful Sceith na Broga, and he was stopped in his tracks. For many nights he worried, until one morning, after a dream of a mound of the Sceith, he knew exactly what to do. He put out a mighty call to the Tua clan all over the world, using his gift, the Irdillion, the website. And in no time at all, the call was answered, and many gathered every night to discuss and I keep pausing.
It's okay.
Actually, do you know what it is? Yeah, it's okay. So the tribe gathered from all corners of the planet at the great monumental site of mythical Ireland at the henge called Mythflix. The best way to win the mighty war with Corona COVID was to hold a positive position in a steadfast, magical way. The Kellogg, the Nuada, Luig and Bone and many more of the ancestors were called to partake during the great discussion of the tribe. Coda, the mighty hound of the king, added his voice every night, and it was in delight that they heard Coda adding his opinion to the great debate. The king knew he had a great responsibility to the tribe, and the tribe did not falter. In Tua style, they remained steadfast to the call, and so the great stories of the Tua continue from the land of Tirnanog, the land where the child lives within us, the land of magic and of great warrior spirit that no foe can touch nor overcome, a land guided by the great Orion, the Cygnus and all the great stars, the moon, the sun, and the seven graces of the Pleiades. With cosmos guidance, the Tua live forever in the beautiful land of Tirnanog, the land of Eru. Wow.
I'm speechless.
Are they all applauding? Are they all applauding?
It's not often, as you know, that I don't have much to say.
My imagination is a bit vivid, all right, Anthony.
No, it's lovely. Thanks. I don't know what to say. I'm just extremely embarrassed right now.
Oh, sure. Look, it's a new mythology to add, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like the idea of king. You know, I don't. That's not the way I see it. But I greatly appreciate the sentiments.
It's a bit of fun. Anyway, I'd like to wish everyone, yourself as well, Anthony, and everyone listening tonight, a beautiful summer solstice eve. I'll be lighting a fire later on. That's normally what we do, is that we'd light a summer solstice eve fire to Anya. But I'd like to read, as you know, since I've been following the Mythflix, Anthony, I was introduced to George William Russell. And I'm so grateful for that. I can't believe I never came across him before. But I want to read a beautiful poem, because I got, as you know, I've after getting some of his books, his poetry. I keep pausing. I'd just like to read a poem tonight for Summer Solstice Eve, if that's okay.
Yeah, brilliant.
With you? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, here we go. And it's for all the Tua, Anthony, everyone, Coda, everyone I know, love you all. Okay, so here goes. When twilight flutters the mountains over, the fairy lights from the earth unfold, and over the caves enchanted hover the giant heroes and gods of old. The bird of ether, its flaming pinions, waves over earth the whole night long. The stars drop down in their blue dominions to hymn together their chorus song. The child of earth. Do you know, I keep pausing because it's notifications coming into my phone.
Don't worry.
Anyway,
the child of earth was the last bit we heard.
Yes. The child of earth in his heart grows burning, made mad for the night and the deep unknown. His alien flame in a dream returning, seats itself on the ancient throne. When twilight over the mountains fluttered, and night with its starry millions came, I too had dreams. The songs I have uttered came from his heart that was touched by the flame.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I love
Amazing.
he was very, very close to that other world that so many people are dubious and doubtful about, you know.
I wonder, did John O'Donoghue know of him? He must have had, because John O'Donoghue writes in his style as well. He's just got that flow that comes from his soul and within his heart. It's just blowing out of him.
Yeah.
And you can feel it when you're reading it. You get carried away, actually, by his poetry, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful for that.
As are we.
I'm so grateful for that.
Thanks, Margaret.
You're welcome.
I don't know what to say. I'm just extremely embarrassed, but thanks a million for...
I didn't mean to do that to you.
No,
It's a bit of fun, Anthony.
it's all in the spirit of the occasion, which is a celebration of our lovely community. So
Yeah.
I raise a glass to you and to all of the community.
I'm
Clink.
still on the coffee. I'll have the afterwards. Cheers, yeah. So actually, Anthony, I was just going to suggest that if everyone wants to put up a photo tonight of a candle or anything to Anya, you know, she's the summer solstice goddess in Eru, and so I'll be lighting my fire. And if anyone wants to light a candle and put up photographs of that, it's
Brilliant.
just a tradition that happens on solstice
Yeah.
Eve night. You light the fires to Anya, yeah.
Yeah. And they could share those on the Mythical Ireland community page. Brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah, please do.
You can share them all.
Yeah, I'm hearing
yeah.
my own voice coming back. It's very off-putting, but I'm not saying much anyway. So
Yeah, you all right? You're having feedback, are you?
yeah. What that's telling me is to shut up and just listen to you.
All right. Well, I don't know what else to say now.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Margaret, and happy solstice tomorrow. Happy summer solstice to you and all yours.
And you as well, Anthony, and to all the tour.
Thank
Happy
you.
summer solstice.
I don't know how to hang up on you, so I'm going to have to check on this now for a second.
1 second, I'll just have a look. Can I press out? I think I can just come out of this like that.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't.
Oh, we're stuck. We're stuck now.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah, I don't know how to. Somebody will know. All the geniuses on here, the technical gurus. There you go. Okay, that was highly embarrassing. Thank you, Margaret. I don't know what to say. Yes, Margaret, you'll have to do more writing, definitely. Anyway, lovely sentiments there, and thank you. Pat, I'm going to try add you again if I can. Oh no, he's gone now. Like you're not on the green inable list, so I don't know why. Strange one. Anyway, not to worry. Tom King, I can add you. Tom, would you like to step into the henge for a moment? If not, don't worry. If you're too embarrassed or whatever, or you're not properly attired or whatever, cleaned up or shaved or whatever. Yeah, so Margaret had sent me that, and I hadn't seen the email while I was broadcasting live, and just in the middle of the live broadcast, these two swans appeared over the Boyne River and flew together all the way up along the Boyne through Drogheda, or through the skies of Drogheda. And Margaret was watching and said, yeah, you definitely have to read the email now. So needless to say, I did. Pardon me. Tom or Pat? I can't add Pat now. I don't know why that happens. Like I have add beside a few names, but only a few. And Pat who was on this, Tom King says, yes, sir, it would be a pleasure. So we'll try and add Tom, and hopefully Tom will say a few words. Margaret, there's a few people asking, would it be possible to share that piece of writing somewhere? I'm trying to add Tom, and it's just saying adding. Connecting. This is exciting. Look, there he is. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Anthony. Hello, the tour.
How are you keeping? Look at the forge.
Very well, thank you, Anthony. Yes, I have the forge lit behind me, working away. So I have the forge blowing in my ears. So I might just knock it off for a second.
Brilliant. You couldn't do that in prehistory. You couldn't just turn it on and turn it off. Oh, wow.
So, yeah, a lot of fun, Anthony. Having a lot of fun. Well done, Margaret. Good sport. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Very enjoyable.
That was very touching. Very, very touching. No, and fair play. No, good sport now to Margaret. Well done.
Yeah. Tom, tell us a little bit about what sort of metal you work with and what sort of things that you make.
I basically just work with mild steel at the minute, Anthony, there.
Steel.
And at the minute, I'm focusing on a lot of the Celtic kind of pendant work, a lot of the panicular type stuff. You know, a lot of the very old style metal scroll work. And basically working on that at the minute there, just kind of building a portfolio. So I'm using the opportunity while this COVID has this lockdown. You know, I'm homeschooling my children. So while the kids are home, my wife was working front line there, so I have a little bit of extra time where I do have a little time in the forge and able to work away and work the craft. So I'm certainly making the opportunity.
Brilliant. Your stuff is lovely. Well, Tom, folks, you might recognize this, but this is a gift from Tom. One of the gifts that Tom sent along, and it is a beautiful spiral-shaped pendant. Isn't it really fabulous? Yeah, I'm in love with your work, Tom, and some of the very ornate furniture that you've been making or decorative items for the house have been really, really nice. Is it a little bit like fishing? Does it help you relax and all that?
Most definitely, Anthony. I mean, you know, when you realize you have a gift or a talent, it would be such a shame to waste it. So you got to work what you've been blessed with. So most certainly, I will take every opportunity to work my hands and to be creative, and certainly just keep making, because it's not a job as such. When you enjoy it, it just happens. So very, very much enjoying the journey so far, and making it, you know, making every opportunity count at the minute. So
yeah,
one step at a time, and we'll just keep making away.
Absolutely. A few people are asking if they can see your work on the web or whether you sell your work or not.
Do you know what? I'm very early stages of that. So it's a very exciting milestone, even just, you know, the conversation we've had online with my friends on the tour. And do you know what? One step at a time. Just watch what, you know, what will happen now will happen in the next few months. I'd love to be able to set up a little website. I'd love to be able to have a reach out. The world's a small place, no doubt about that. And yeah, it'd be my pleasure. So definitely that's on the cards now in the near future.
Well, we wish you all the best with it. And I know that you've been there pretty much. I don't know, you're definitely one of the most regular. You've been there for almost every episode, if not every episode. And it's been great to have your company throughout it all. And I'm glad that you've been enjoying it.
Well, thank you very much, Anthony, and thank you. Yeah, no doubt about it, Anthony, and many congratulations, and look, sincere thanks to you now for all your effort now putting this together. It's been something everybody's been looking forward to, whether it be AM or PM, and it's incredible. The world is watching in, and everyone's getting a lot of joy out of this, and it's very good of you. So thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. Well, look, we look forward to. Well, we're going to try and keep it up. You know, it's been my pleasure, of course, and a great honor for me to do so. And it would never have gone this far had it not been for all you lovely people who are watching so enthusiastically every day and interacting and asking questions and exchanging comments with the other TUA members. So it's great. Anyway, I hope that whatever is being created in the background there is going to be a beautiful creation. I'm sure it will be. And we'll talk. Look at that work. It's fabulous. Really, really beautiful. Yeah, there's a very
Thank you
nicely
very much, Anthony.
tight wound spiral. Okay, Tom, I think you have to hang up on me. I can't hang up on you. So, slán go fóill, my friend. We'll see you soon. Hopefully.
Very good. Thank you, Anthony. Good night, all the two of us.
Good night.
Stay safe.
Slán.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Slán. He's still there. He's still there. Just don't say any swear words right now.
No. What button do I press now? Okay, 1 second.
I know. Yeah, there you go. He found it. The wonderful Tom King, who's a very, very talented smith, who's been one of our most regulars. I mean, I know that some of you have been watching pretty much every episode. Tom is one of those. Tom also, yes, is that Aaron says that Tom has been sharing his work on the Mythical Ireland community page on Facebook. So if you're not there, maybe it would be an idea to go over there and join the community. I'll just paste in the link there because he's extraordinarily talented, really, really wonderful, and a very, very nice man at the same time. Talented plus talented plus genuine plus nice, etc., etc. Teresina, I can talk to you about my painting if you like, Anthony. Yes, you'll have to try and send me a request. Pat, you have dropped off my list. Who else? Who else can I add in? I can add in Patricia McAteer and Desiree Riley. Would either of you like to say a couple of words? It's okay if it's no. If you're not used to speaking to 134 people, then that's perfectly all right. Don't worry. I told you tonight there was no plan. It's just about celebrating, and perhaps this is an opportunity to meet a few members of the Tua, a few other members. So a few people trying to talk about swear words. We're not going. That is one rabbit hole. We're not. I'm not going down that rabbit hole tonight. Definitely not. So perhaps Teresina, I don't know. You can request to be in the broadcast, apparently. So Facebook is telling me. I don't know how that's possible, but you'll have to let me know. Patricia McAteer or Desiree Riley, I can add in. Just wondering if either of those would like to say something. If not, don't worry. I have a couple of things I was going to read anyway. Pat, can you send me a request? I'm not sure whether you can or not. Can you send a request to be added into the call? I'd love to have a quick chat with you in front of the clan, because I know that you've been one of the most enthusiastic followers of Mythical Ireland for a long time. Teresina says, just sent request. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know why. There's only green. I'm not sure how it works either, Teresina. Yeah, it's really strange. I can add, but there's only 4 people with add beside them. Margaret, Tom, Patricia, and Desiree. Pat Rowan was there, but is gone again. So Aaron Durrett wants to know about my dreams. Oh no. That is an yeah. Well, the famous one, of course. The famous one was the meeting the Cailleach dream, and I think I have relayed that one before. And then there was the dream about Rossnaree, which is in my Mythical Ireland book. Got my screen horizontally. Hang on, let me see if we can add in. No, Pat, you're still not coming up, and Teresina, you're not coming up there either. So I'll wait a little bit, and perhaps maybe you will come in. You will come in a little bit. Okay. Jennifer Fitzpatrick says, hi. Hello, Jennifer. Good evening to you. We are celebrating 100 episodes of Live Irish Myths. Tonight's episode does not have a theme or a plan or any sort of a script, and it's a good job. We've been enjoying just having a bit of chat and a little of backing and forthing. A few people are asking questions. In relation to the dream one, I'm just trying to think. I mean, could be something to excuse me, to do with their privacy settings. I've got green ad light, says Jane Lidke. Yeah. Actually, I never thought of that. Now, somebody else has been added. There's Pat Rowan there now. Okay, Pat, we'll try and add you again. Hopefully, the fingers crossed, this time it'll happen. Fingers crossed. Yes, it says connecting. There he is. Hello, Pat.
Oh my God. Oh, hi, Anthony.
How are you keeping? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Tell us where you are right now.
I'm on Old Beaver Valley Road. And the people here have a nice little hill I could get up, and the coverage is better. I think it's maybe a coverage issue. I don't know for sure, but I don't want to move where I'm at. I'm going to have to shut my truck off there.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I won't keep you because I know you're working today, and you're. I presume.
Oh, no.
No. Oh, you're not working.
No, it's a real honor for you to call on me, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I just it's been a wonderful journey. Everybody involved. There's just this real. I can't really explain it. It's just a big community of just spirit that's just incredible. It's all very positive. It's really, really amazing, and I just so appreciate it. It's like it's everybody. It's just. Yeah, it's all things. Everything is meant to be. It's supposed to go a certain way, and you just have to follow it.
Yeah.
There's probably other people. I'm not from Ireland or anything, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying there's other people I like to see or to have a chance to get on and say hello.
Yes.
Wouldn't like that. Yeah, because I'm at work, but I just really thank you, and I just thank everybody, the friends I make, and people I meet from all over the world. It's amazing. I do my, but time and a place for everything, and hopefully we all can get together and have a meeting somewhere in Ireland and things like that when things get better.
That would be really lovely. We'd really love that. Yeah.
You bring something very special, and yeah, I better and time goes on. We'll yeah, I'm okay now. Just thank you, everybody, for the great spirits you all bring, and it's amazing. I've been on an amazing journey, and I just thank you all. That's all I can say.
Thanks for the kind words, Pat. And I'm just letting the viewers know, they're asking whereabouts you are in the world. You're in Washington State, isn't that right?
Yes, it's by the Olympic Peninsula. It's
the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State.
Washington.
Way over in the west, yeah. The northwest. Pat, thanks a million for joining us.
Right across BC. Okay. Oh, you're so welcome, Anthony. Thank you so much.
Now, you have to find the hang up button. I don't know exactly where it is, but you have to press it there. Yeah. So we look forward to seeing you when you get to Ireland next time you come over.
I'll find.
And hopefully we'll all be able to have a nice session around the fire.
I will. Oh, it's a dream come true. So I look forward to it so much, Anthony. And I just want to, I better get off. But just blessings to everyone. Blessings.
Thanks, Pat.
Oh, very special spirit. It's gonna be transcending. So care, everybody. Bye.
Thanks a million, Pat. Banachty. And you have to hang up on us. I don't know where the button is. So enjoy your day there on the road working. Pat is working, and he's on the road every day on the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State in the Pacific Northwest. Oh man, how do you top that? You know what I mean? Between Margaret's writing and Tom's artistry and Pat's kind words. At the moment, I can't add anyone else apart from Desiree. And I'm not going to embarrass her into speaking with us because I know that some people just don't want to talk publicly, and that's perfectly okay, no problem. Isn't Pat just such a lovely man, isn't he? Anyway, I'm going to read a section of something that I read a page of before, and you guys seem to have really liked an awful lot. And I want to be careful not to read a huge amount of it simply because it's unpublished. And that is, of course, my work called Return to Segish, which is a very creative and mystical, poetic journey into the myths and landscape of the Boyne Valley. Very, very different to anything that I've written before now. So I'm going to read a little bit of that. And if there are one or two of the regulars, I don't know exactly how it works. And somebody said there it might be to do with privacy settings. But especially the more regulars. I mean, I'd like to hear... Oh, Desiree says I'll talk. Okay, we'll take... Desiree, I'm going to add you in now. So, and then I'll do my reading afterwards. Declined. Okay, maybe you might have to try again. I'll just try that again, Desiree. You're just constantly waiting for the... There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to see you, Anthony.
Hello, Desiree. It is a great pleasure to see you and to hear your voice.
Nice to meet everybody from the two. I wasn't expecting to meet anybody today.
That's okay.
Thank you, Anthony.
Oh, thank you.
Whenever COVID first started, I went from somebody working constantly and having my name called all the time. And I remember, like, they became like after like 4 days, I hadn't heard anybody call my name. And I like, tell everybody thank you. I just don't think to some people sometimes. It's not that, I mean, I have good family. I love everybody. But you just realize one day, you know, your name for 4 days. And it was just such a nice thing because there might have been people who didn't have other people that checked on them all the time that you do that for. And you know, I just think you brought so many beautiful people together. And I can show you my pup. Yeah, and that's my dad. So love Netflix. I don't know what I.
Don't worry. You were just a little bit broken up when you went inside there. Did I see a dog?
Yeah, I was going to show my puppies that he loves because they love Coda.
Please do.
Talia.
Oh, look.
And that's
oh, lovely.
Yeah, two big old guys. Yeah. And every time I'm telling you, it's their favorite part. When Coda's barking, you're like,
it seems to be a thing about the Mythflix too, that a lot of people out there seem to be animal lovers, particularly dogs. Now, I have nothing against cats or whatever, but there seems to be an awful lot of dogs in the background in the Mythflix audience, which is great. I think we've lost you there, Desiree. You're completely frozen on us. But sure, anyway, look, isn't it lovely that we're able to say hello? You know that you're... And finally, actually, I've been speaking to Pat and Tom and Margaret before. Desiree, I've never spoken to you before, so to have that video connection is lovely. You're just frozen on us there. I'm not sure if there's anything you can do about it. You're still there. The picture is frozen.
The picture's very well. I mean, I can hear y'all, but I can't. Yeah, y'all went away. I don't know where y'all went either. I'm trying to.
No problem. Well, I just wanted to say a very special thank you for the lovely gift, which I will be using in forthcoming episodes. And I hope that really benefits the whole thing. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for the wonderful surprise this morning. And you're completely gone now. Not to worry. So just again, for those of you who are joining us, Desiree was responsible for sending me a digital projector so that I can project images onto a screen behind me here during the episodes, which I think was a really, really wonderful thing of her to do. And to time it so that it arrived on episode 100. And it arrived this morning with a little note saying, congrats on episode 100, and here's a gift. And, we're hoping that you can show us some of your images, etc., in future episodes. How wonderful. How brilliant. Charlene McLean Cosby says 2 dogs and 8 parrots. Brilliant stuff. Anne Garrity Smith says cats and dogs. Aren't they brilliant? Sure, let's see if we can bring Coda in for a moment. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Come on. Come on. I know, you probably think you're going. Say hello. Come on, say hello. Come here. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Come on. Come on. Now, say hello. Say hello. Hello, Coda, who was 1 last week. This day last week, wasn't it? The 12th. Yes, it's the 19th today. Now, there you go, you big boy. Huh? That is Coda. He is a Black Labrador German Shepherd cross. And Tom King is going to laugh. Tom lives out in a place near Navan called Bohermeen. And that is where we bought our dog, isn't it? Yeah. Well, he's Amy's dog, my eldest daughter. She wanted a dog, and she had passed all her exams. And so we went and got her a dog. And we went to see, I think there were 4 or 5 of the litter left. I think there was 8 in the litter originally. And she had her eye on one. But as soon as we arrived, this fella came running straight over to her, into her arms. And he was sort of very lively and friendly and playful with her. So the owner kind of said, that's usually a good sign that that's the dog for you, the one that picks you out, Isn't that right? And he was very small. Actually, I must share a few pictures in the community over the next couple of days. When he was a pup, he was really small, and he has grown so massive. I mean, he's a big dog, and he's not fully grown yet. He could be another. There's certainly another 6 to 8 months, if not another year's growing in him. You're not going to get much bigger, though, are you? Because you'll be nearly as tall as us, won't you? But he settled down an awful lot. He's a young male pup, full of beans, full of energy, mad, chewing everything, chewing people's clothes sometimes. But he has settled down an awful lot in the past couple of months. And he's generally very well behaved now. We can't keep him and Saskia in the same room because he wants to play, and Saskia's 8 and she's kind of more settled and she doesn't want to play. And when he goes near her, she kind of goes, "Rrr!" And she's not an aggressive dog or anything, but they just we have to keep them apart most of the time for that reason. More than he's a lovely coat on him. He's lovely oily dark coat, haven't you? Yeah, you have. Yeah. And first thing in the morning when he comes down and he needs to go for pee-pee, he'll come running over to me first, and he'll do the as in I want to rub and a pet before I go to the toilet. And some days he comes over halfway and he's like, oh no, I need to go toilet first, And some days he realizes that going for a pee is more urgent than getting the rub. Isn't that right? Yeah. Oh, he's yawn. Oh, he's yawn. Big yawn. Big yawn. Well, come here. You're a sturdy dog. The other thing is he's a good guard dog because he barks as soon as there's anybody within the vicinity of the property. Now, we keep him indoors 3/4 of the time, 4/5 of the time. He doesn't be out for long periods. But when he is outside, I tell you, if somebody moves within 100 meters of our house out on the street, he barks, oh no, don't chew any wires. We could lose connection here all of a sudden. Come out of there. Come on. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. Come on. Out you go. Come on. And this is the thing now about coaxing him out somewhere. He thinks, no, there, that's it. Good boy. Now he's like, oh, I want you to rub me again. Okay, I'll rub you again. Okay, fine. Let's just check who's on the green button syndrome here. All of the people with green buttons beside them are people we've already been speaking to, which is great. Anyway, hope everybody's keeping well. No, don't go in there. No, it's the one place I don't want you. I'm just afraid that you'll be chewing on the wires. No, you can't go in there, okay? Now, sit down. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Sit. 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 Now, be good. Be good. No. Yes. I know. Yes, but we're live. I know. Oh, and he's pushing the mouse around with his chin now. Just don't disconnect us, whatever you do. Thank you, Desiree. That's a very interesting question from Aaron Durrett. And the question is, ask the Tua who from Irish lore they would come as if we had a big henge party. Who would you come to the henge party as? Teresina is in the waiting room. And I can't add you, Teresina. That's very annoying. You don't have a green button on you. Simon Tute is in the house. Arrived late as usual. Have I missed much? No, only about an hour and a half. Don't worry, it's early days yet. We're all having, well, some of us are having a drink of wine. Megan Walter says she would come as Boann. So does Patricia Langton. Long T Menosy says Mog Ruth. The green button isn't working yet. I don't know how it works. It's a little bit, what would you say, haphazard. But anyway. Someone says they'd come as themselves. On Kalyak, Joan of Arc. Jules' cousin says Bridget. I think the question was, who from Irish mythology would you come as? Joan of Arc, I'm not sure. Esther says, I have to think about that one. Robin Edgar says he would come as Angus in swan form, and of course that's a reference to the bird reportedly seen in total eclipses. Bernie says she'd come as Maeve. Anne McCallum said she would come as her namesake Anya. Movanway says Bridget. Miriam says Morrigan. Charlene says Bridget. Jerry says Maeve. Grace says Maeve. Sorry, Trina says Fidel, and that is the prophetess. Julie King says Morrigan. Melanie Lynn says Macha. Erin Durrett says she'd come as the Cailleach. No need for a costume. Who is Mog Ruth? Is a druid, a very interesting druid, which we will probably feature in an episode, I think. Definitely. In my case, I think I would have to. There's only sort of three, that I would have to come as my favorites, and those that I sort of am most fond of in the stories would be Lou Lovefather, Lou Samuel Domach, Angus Og, or Avergine. Avergine Glungal, Amergin of the Bright Knee, the Bard of the Milesians. Yes, Patricia says, myself in the crone guise. Esther David said, I was just going to say Bridget. Wendy Holmes says Morrigan. So that was a brilliant question. Lots and lots of answers. An awful lot of Bridget's, Morrigan's, Machas. An army of Maeves. Sorry, Maeve and Macha, yeah. I would come as the Pirate Queen, says Catherine. And the other Catherine says, yes, I was thinking the same. Margaret Ring, Anya riding a red mare with hazelnuts in my hair. Paula Snow Queen says Deirdre. Very interesting. Yes, that's we'd had Deirdre and the Sons of Ishnok. Oh, Yvette Tillema says Dabilla. Very interesting. The dog, the hound of Boann, or the lapdog of Boann. That's very interesting. Interesting choice. So we would have could you imagine having a party in the henge? It's like, where's Bridget? There she is, pointing at 6 people. Where's Maeve? There she is, pointing at 10 people. Where's Dabilla? There. That would liven up the evening. Yes, indeed it would. Debbie says she'd come as a Selkie and tell stories of the sea. Yeah. Kirsten saying to Margaret, I always thought you were kindred to Anya. Yeah, Margaret is a substantial fan of Anya. Coda, that is not food. That is a plastic divider from one of my files. You can't eat that, you know. Well, whether he can eat it or not, he'd damn well give it a good try. I'll give you the hazelnuts. I set a spiral of 18 and 9 around my well last year. Brilliant. Just like Segish. Fantastic stuff. Brilliant. That has sparked a whole interesting conversation going on there. Let me see if there's any extra green lights here for edible innables. No, except for Patricia McAteer. Patricia, while you are edible, would you like to come on and say a few words? Wendy Holmes says, a party in the henge. Love this idea. Yeah, we could make our own henge too. What would it look like? I suspect it might look like drone henge. Yvette Tillema says, I'll bring my little dog Emer too. Yes, indeed. We could have a separate henge for the doggies. I mean, there seems to be enough of them, you know. I think between myself and Desiree, for instance, there's 4 dogs. So that's 4 straight away. Jane Lidkey says, would be a wonderful gathering. These comments are disappearing very quickly. Not sure who I'd come as. Need to do more research. Rowan says, I've been making historical costumes for 40-something years. Wow. Brilliant. Alison says, what pendant are you wearing? You might have missed it earlier, Alison, when we were talking to Tom, the smith. Tom actually made that for me. That is a spiral pendant made by Tom King in his forge in Navan. Or in, it's in Slane. He's originally from Navan. Isn't it lovely? Beautiful, yeah. Patricia McAteer says, yes, please. Okay, Patricia, let's add you in. Oh, you're gone again. I don't know. So, like, there's a list of edibles, and it keeps changing. And it's the same people are on the list, but some of them disappear. I'll call you as soon as you appear again, Patricia. You've disappeared off that list for a moment, so I don't know. It would have to be large, says Megan. Yes, definitely. I'm thinking something around 520 feet in diameter. We could make a sort of a miniature scale model of drone henge. Kathy May Deo says, hello, happy 100th, Mr. Anthony and the Tua. Glad I got in on the end. Fault you, Kathy. Yes, we're still going because I said there was no limit tonight. We're just having a celebration. Anthony, you need to work out how that works. I've got a green button and I can't get rid of it, says Paula Snow Queen. Yeah, and yet I can't. There's Patricia now. I'm going to add you in now, Patricia. So hopefully Patricia will join us for a moment and maybe say a few words. Somebody's offering. Adina Sparks said, I'd bring bread and stew to feed the Tua. Brilliant. That would be great. Anthony, there's a 1st century ring fort in Lancashire that's been carbon-dated to 6,000 years old. Hello, Patricia.
Hello, I can barely hear you.
That's okay. We just need to hear you.
Okay. How are you?
I'm great. I'm in great form.
Very emotional there tonight.
Yeah, it's been a real lovely celebration. Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely to see you. It's lovely to see or to hear everybody as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, Patricia, you're an artist.
Yes.
And we've seen some of your fabulous works of art. You're greatly inspired by all this stuff, the mythology and the landscapes and the ancient monuments. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I started painting the megaliths 20, 30 years ago, and it changed along the way, but I just love all the mythical sites and everything, and they're greatly inspiring. And I just, before I go on to that, I have to say thank you so much for all of these episodes every night. I am the most inconsistent person you could ever meet in your life. I don't keep at anything. And since I've started watching this, it's been something to look forward to break the day up. And it's been helping my consistency as well. It's just it's wonderful.
Brilliant.
And I've enjoyed all of it.
Well, thank you. I'm delighted to hear that. And there's a lot of, curiously, one of the things about this series has been, it seems to have spurred a lot of creativity in the creative people who are watching. Yes. And it's been lovely to see the artwork and the poetry and the writing and the Smith work and everything, all the different art forms. It's been lovely to see all that happening. It's been really heartening.
But that's the Irish in us. We're all creative to some extent, and this space, I think, has given everybody that chance to be something maybe that they wouldn't normally have even thought of trying or doing or being before. So, in some ways, it's a blessing. Well, I suppose you have to look at everything as a blessing of some sort or another. You take something out of it. It's very difficult. It's getting better.
Yeah.
But the creativity is just bubbling.
Yeah. And you live in Omeath in Cooley, and what is it, that landscape, of course, has particular mythic implications in the Toynbee, Cooley, etc. What is it like to live down there? Is it a landscape from which you easily draw inspiration?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm not too far from Clontigora and Courtcarn. It's just across the mountain a little bit. I have Poleek on the other side, and if I just go down the road to Newry, I'm practically at Sliabh-Gullion. So all of those sites, they're all wonderful. And there's a few here in Omeath, but they haven't really been documented, I don't think. It's very quiet. I'm halfway up a mountain, so it's very inspiring, and we're near Carlingford as well, so it's lovely.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I'm nearer to Newry than I am to Dundalk.
Yeah. Well, because we're friends on Facebook, I see quite a lot of your pictures, and I know that you regularly take sunrise and sunsets and landscape pictures to show us. It looks like a really special little part of the world. It looks really beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's just fabulous. You'd love it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well,
I'd love to come for a little bit of it.
I know the area. I mean, I've been a visitor to Cooley for years and years since I was a child.
Yeah.
But Omeath a little bit less. So perhaps when this is all over, I'll get a chance to knock your door and come in and see some of your lovely works of art. Yeah, and we'll have a cup of tea together. Yeah, I'll enjoy that.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Okay, I don't know how to knock this thing off here.
Apparently, you have to do it. There's something somewhere, some sort of a hang-up button or something.
Yeah, there is. And if I can't do it, I'll knock the whole thing off and come back to you.
No problem. Brilliant. Great pleasure to meet you, Patricia.
Great to meet all the friends and everything.
Thanks a million.
Okay, bye-bye.
Good night. Good night for now. Hopefully, Patricia will find the... No, we've reversed the camera there.
Hold on.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. We'll find it.
Completely.
We'll find it.
No.
The joys of live broadcasting. And so those of you who are asking about Patricia's artwork, please note that Patricia has shared her artworks regularly on the Mythical Ireland community page on Facebook. And so if you're not a member there, go over there and sign up. Patricia is completely frozen here, and I'm not sure. I don't seem to be able to... I don't seem to be able to hang up on her, as it were. Porrick, did I see Porrick O'Comiskey joining? Hiya, Porrick. I'm not sure how it works because we're just new to this, but it says here that I can allow viewers to send a request to join the broadcast. Porrick, if you want to do that, please feel free. I wouldn't mind having a chat with you. Because I know that you are, like me, are been scouring the landscape for a long time, taking pictures of monuments, and I think it'd be interesting to have a chat with you. Patricia's gone there now. That's grand. Pardon me. And what a lovely lady. That's it. I can't add anyone that hasn't been added so far. So anyway, perhaps now would be the good time. I'm going to read a little section of Return to Seggish. I read a page of this before, and some of you were very excited. I do hope to get it published. The reason I don't want to read huge sections of it is because it is with an agent, and I'm hoping that that agent will try and secure a publisher for it sometime in the near future. Anyway, I'll read a few paragraphs just as a means of passing some more time. Not that we need that. This is probably going to be the longest of all of the Live Irish Myths episodes that we've had so far. But that's okay, because we've no plan. There is a strange calling, an indescribable beckoning that comes to you on the shore of the sea. It is a calling to a bigger life, a life beyond what you can imagine or comprehend. The life of a sailor, maybe, but not a crewman on a merchant ship, but rather the oarsman of an ancient coracle, a boat covered with the hide of a cow, an ocean sweeper bobbing up and down, relentlessly searching the oceans of your eternal dreams for that flickering, silvery light in the rivers and seas of your darkest depths. Should I wade out now, I wondered, into the Boyne at Mornington in search of that silvery sliver of light in the vast darkness? And in doing so, would I become Manannán, keeper of the sea, lord of the oceans? The Manannán of Mornington, the one who plunges into the pool of our innocent dawn and emerges from the western ocean at the last light of evening with a fish in his hand. What have you seen there in the murky depths of the seas of our unknowing, O great lord of the ocean? Did the salmon pass you by in the night, a flicker of light? Did Bowen pass you by, broken Bowen, the fragments of her impetuousness shimmering in the shadows? Did the Mata pass you by in the night, the frame of the beast, the shank of the beast, the rib cage of the beast, a monstrous thing to be set down in the shallow ford of our dark pool, our Dove Lynn? And if all three passed you by, which one would you follow? Would you chase the gleaming fish on its journey from darkness to light, from sea to soul, knowing that the salmon is searching for the spawning grounds of your first thoughts? Would you follow instead the body of Bowen, broken Bowen, wounded Bowen, to the craggy shores of Rockabill? O Mother Bowen, when the waters first broke, you brought me into the world, but now the waters have broken you. Alas, that it should be so. Mother, you are the river with the lapdog by the shore. How do we remake you? And I wonder, if I should go down to the shore of the sea at Inverculpa in the morning, would I chance upon Bowen remade, emerging from the water of her reglorification, the water of her deep immersion? If the Boyne could break her, maybe the sea could remake her. Having run her course from source to sea, she might now desire to, salmon-like, return to the spawning pools of her first imaginations. What if Bowen should go back to Segish? What power would Segish and its taboos have over the remade goddess of our midnight dreams? In these dreams from the witching hour, we have seen the broken goddess float out to sea. In one dream, her broken pieces form islands in the sea. She is creation, creation in destruction. In another dream, we see her float down from Segish, past Inverculpa, and in the light of the bright full moon, we see Bowen remade in the lunar pool, the pool of the bright moon, the pool of the illuminated cow. The broken moon, shattered by its daytime encounter with the scorching sun, is remade in the evening when it rises whole out of the sea in opposition to a setting sun. In her everlasting journey around Segish, Bowen is broken and rebroken. The wounded moon rises later each night, with larger and greater chunks removed from its face of cowhide. Eventually, all that's left is a slender crescent in the morning twilight, the horns of the dying and broken cow, and then she disappears. For 3 days she is gone. In myth, the cow and the calf become islands. They are dead, but undead. Shall we, the hopeless few, wait by the shore of her undoing for a resurrection? Or should we follow Manannán way out west to the great ocean to watch for the renewed cow horns of her miraculous return, the defaced Bowen who is being refaced after her scourging by the sun? Come back to us now at the turning of the tide. Bring the tide to our feet by the shore, us hopeless few grey-faced pilgrims, bereft at the breaking of the illuminated cow. Before the dawn you disappeared, swallowed by the rising waters of Seguish. We, the ashen-faced pilgrims on the path of the white cow, found that the path beneath our feet had vanished, to be replaced by a river of black oil that swamped our darkened toes. And we lost our way because the bright woman of our midnight dreams had been broken by a fiery dawn that would burn our dreams to a blackened charcoal. And what should we do with the blackened coals of our burnt-out dreams? What should we do with the charcoal by the shore in the morning of our undoing? Should we alchemists feed the charcoal of your ruination to the magic heron by the shore in the hope that it lays a silver egg, glistening in the morning of our hopeless resolutions? And if I should happen upon that silver egg in the morning of my misgivings, would I mistake it for Manannán's treasure bag, full of promise at high tide, but devoid of hope when the sea draws out its treasure with the detritus in the evening of the ebbing tide? I've had many misgivings about writing this book. Should I now tear it asunder like broken Bowen and scatter its meaning-laden, meaningless fragments upon the heaving waters? The notebook is a treasure bag of thoughts, pregnant with possibility in the morning of our blank pages. It becomes filled with the words and thoughts and distracted musings of our distracted lives. The words build up behind the pen. The nib is the pressure point of our poetic power. It is the bottleneck where the traffic snarls up the shower cloud laden with a downpour. When enough pressure rises behind the nib, the pen bursts into life and the words emerge, just like the treasure bag is revealed by the retreating tide. But in the drawing back of the tide, what if we should see the bones of Bowen or the bones of the Mata strewn on the shore? What treasure bag would that be to our eyes? I would wince at the sight, but might marvel at the wonder of Manannán's treasure bag and its renewal by the tide. What if Bowen could be remade in silvery raiment, her unbroken form glimmering in the morning half-light? What then could Era become? O Mother, come to me in the half-light. Your wandering son, weary of the daily trudge on dangerous paths, call me Angus Og, the one who is born on the evening of the day of his conception, and I shall take you by the hand and lead you to the altar of reconstitution, the holy pit of rebirth. And then perhaps the only invasion upon our chaste shores will be by the pages of a book of taking, the leaves of parchment etched with the words of the scribe's desire, strewn on the strand like the forlorn fragments of the Mata's body. On the altar of your revival, the sacred plinth of your rejuvenation, the treasure of all of Manannán's lofty days will be brought and laid before the great Queen of the morning. Bowen, we shall see you remade, so that the dark days will be banished, and so that only the light of the dawn of your recreation will be seen to shine in the dim corners of our neglect. I looked at you once, and saw deep down a sky full of stars, and a world that was new, and a heart that knew gladness. In the quickening twilight, I caught a glimpse of something down there in the depths of blue. It was a flickering light, a light from the old world. I imagined I was seeing something from an antediluvian earth, a glimpse into a world of aeons past, long before the first virgin footsteps on the shore of this sacred island. And as I looked deep into the water, the image flashed and flickered and glimmered, so that I was hopelessly unsure of what I saw. The old world is still in you, boy, a voice said. You have come a long way since your first emergence from the birth waters. As the voice spoke, I saw a flash, and a face briefly appeared. And, like the voice, I could not tell whether the face was that of a woman or a man. I am Manannán, it said. I am Eru, it said. I am Fintan. I am Bowen. I am Amergin. I am Mata. I am you. And that is from a book that I wrote, I hand wrote in 2018. I started at Easter 2018 and finished it at Imbolc 2019. And this is the book that I wrote it in. I think I showed you this in a previous episode. This was one of these beautiful creamy page notebooks, but it's actually inscribed on the front with the words of the poem Easter 1916 by W.B. Yeats. And so I took it upon myself to handwrite a book from beginning to end. And that's what I did. I wrote it. I handwrote it. I didn't type it as I would normally do on the computer. I wanted to craft something in a way that would leave, a more permanent record of its creation than the zeros and ones that represent the binary code that travel through the circuit board in your computer, which don't really leave that same trace behind them. It's another reason why I bought a typewriter in January, and I'm writing my latest book on a typewriter because of that beautiful permanence. The reason we know so much mythology today is because the monks of the medieval period, the Middle Ages, wrote a lot of our mythology down on vellum in their manuscripts. And we still have those today. And it's just one of the wonderful ways of preserving lore. Of course, the very best way to preserve lore and mythology is to keep telling the stories and hope, and to encourage the next generation to do the same. Third to those, or second probably to the verbal lore, would be to carve it into huge stones and make a huge monument. That is the yet to be translated, or yet to be published Return to Segish, a book that flowed out of some unknown place deep within my soul, and for which there was no plan whatsoever. I just wrote freely. And wrote whatever came to me during a very inspired time, it has to be said. If there's one thing I would say about it, is that when it's published, and I say when because it will be published one way or another, it will be published, is that it is a wonderfully optimistic work, and it deals with the themes that are so prevalent today, the themes of the darkness and the themes of the struggles, but always and exemplified in the story of the Salmon of Knowledge from the Well of Segish. That flicker of silvery light is the thing that I'm constantly looking for in the book, that symbol of hope. And of course, the hope is that the salmon, which begins its life as a tiny fry and turns into a smolt and then grows into a huge fish, that it finds the sea, it hears the call of the sea, and it goes into the ocean, and it comes down from the end, the very top of the river, the very far upper reaches of the river, and through fresh water, it finds its way into salt water and can abide equally in both, and that it lives this life out in the ocean, which may be a year, it may be 2 or 3 years, it may be 5 years, it may be 10 years, but that fish eventually hears the call to go back home again, and to find the pool in which it was born, and to go back there. And its last act is to spawn the next cycle of life in that pool. And I just think it's the most remarkable journey. Of course, also, there's an element of sadness in it. Anyway, I don't want to spoil it too much. I hope that you enjoyed that little that little taste of what it is to come. The return to Segish, a very, very special work. Let's see if there's anybody else on the list that can be added. No, there isn't. That's very disappointing that it's not that we haven't had fabulous guests this evening, but there's only 4 or 5 coming up all the time. If the Tua came to Ireland and we could be everywhere, all over the island, what observation could we make together? Could we light fires that could be seen from one end of the island to the other? What big project could the Tua do, says Aaron. Aaron, you're full of brilliant questions tonight. Yeah, that would be wonderful. I'd love to see a continuous string of beacons like the beacons in Lord of the Rings on the mountaintops. I'd love to see a continuous line of beacons from east to west and from north to south, and of course, crossing through Ishnuk on both journeys. Wouldn't that be fabulous? Of course, in this day and age, there's the whole issue of land ownership and trespass and planning and everything else. It was probably simpler to do those things in centuries gone by. But certainly that is one that would be brilliant. And to do simultaneous observations of, for instance, winter solstice sunrise at different sites around the country, or different summer solstice sunsets, etc. Yeah, I'm not sure. I suspect that if we came together, I suspect that many interesting projects would be born out of that meeting, I think. I'm conscious because of the fact that I've been reading that I've probably missed a lot of comments and probably missed some questions as well. Three in the waiting room, says Teresina. I don't know what that waiting room that is. Are you sure that's not the Mythical Ireland community chat? Because there seems to be some activity there. But that's a different. I mean, I couldn't add you in on this chat with that one, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works. Jules says, I'm carving spirals in my clay I'm working. Brilliant, Jules. Sounds brilliant. Kimberly Field Sipala is in the house. Very late, but happy 100th episode to Anthony Antua. Well, we decided to go with this is 2 hours now. I think this is officially the longest episode ever. We did say at the beginning we didn't have a plan. The plan was just to have a celebration, and we've had a few guests say a few words. It's been wonderful to meet some of the Tua and see some faces and hear some voices, and it's brilliant. Will you publish in the handwritten version? That would be so great, says Patricia. That's a very interesting point. I would like to include some images of the handwritten version in whatever published version comes about. Yeah, brilliant. Julie King wants to know how many times have I lived. Yeah, it's a funny thing that does that sound like a mad question, or does anybody else ever get the sense that you've lived before? And while I know that there's plenty of people who have memories of past lives, I'm not one of those people. I don't have memories of past lives, but just sometimes you kind of sit there and ponder the whole thing and you say, yeah, I wonder, somebody who's a friend of mine was chatting to me one day out near the Boyne River, as it happens, and said that they reckoned that I had lived a past life at Newgrange at some point in the very ancient past, that I seem to have a very, very special connection, a draw for the place, and a very strong heart connection with the place. And I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Who can say? I mean, Tuchmark Etain, probably the one of, Ashlinga Ingaso, probably the most famous story, but Tuchmark Etain, which is very well known, is a story of a lady who is basically reincarnated, and she lives 3 separate existences, which were all talked about in that book. Philomena Breen says, Anthony, I can see you out there with a chisel writing this in stone. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't be very, my digital dexterity wouldn't be very good. I don't have very good fine motor skills, so my handwriting is not neat. My typing isn't very tidy either, and I wouldn't be the best artist in the world. But anyway, Kelly Edmiston says, just beautiful. Anthony, you're Amergin reborn, and you will find his old body too. Happy birthday again and again. Yeah, that would be interesting too, if we someday we get to actually participate in a proper excavation of Millmount. And I know with the tower on its top, that seems unlikely, but you never know with the techniques that are developing what might be possible in the future. I remember many lives, says Freya, one at Tara 2,000 years ago, among many others. There you go. Oh. When I hit the green button, I ended up in a chat room with other people. Ah, yes, that's the Mythical Ireland community chat room. I didn't deactivate that. That is not the same as coming on here. For some reason, Facebook is only allowing me to add a few people at the very top of the list. It's not allowing me to add any more. So unfortunately, it says that you can request to be added, but it must be a different way than what you're talking about. Yeah, maybe you have to be friends with him personally. Just a thought. Maybe that's true. Not sure about Desiree. I know I'm friends with Pat and Margaret, definitely. And Patricia, yes. So maybe that's the way it works. Maybe you have to be friends with them, you know. Well, the ancients have lit fires along the pathway of the sun on the solstice. Well, we know that there's a long tradition of lighting fires on the eve of summer solstice, now celebrated as St. John's Eve, which is the 23rd of June. And that in former times was apparently a very, very widespread practice, a widespread tradition all across the island. Sadly, now only really done in remote parts of the island. Martin of Doveshlania says, fantastic work during the lockdown, fascinating insights. Well done, and thank you very much for all that you give. Well, Martin, or Marcin, it's a great pleasure. And look, it is made what it is by virtue of the presence of all you people, the Tua, as we call them, the tribe, you know. Learn to Ride video says, apparently I was a farmer in a past life. This person said one of my kids drowned, and then my wife at the time abandoned my other child in the famine. Pretty shitty life, if you ask me. Yeah, that doesn't sound very nice. Kellyanne says, brilliant, loved it. Thank you, Kellyanne. Anthony, you're the most interesting, beautiful person I've listened to for many years, says Sean Taylor. Wow. I'm moved. I've managed to hold it together tonight. I mean, I thought if Margaret hadn't set off the tears, then Pat, there was a severe danger there that Pat was going to do so. I'm okay. I've managed to hold it together for some reason. Which of the ancient symbols speaks most to you, says Jerry. That's a very good question. I mean, you see, the spiral is ubiquitous at Brunabonia. It's all over the place. It's very commonplace. I like those suns in circles, or those stars in circles. And I like the crescents because they speak to me of the stars and the sun and the moon, the night sky. They speak to me of that relationship that people have had with the cosmos since the very, very earliest times of our travels here on the Earth as a species. So the spiral I love, but those other symbols speak to me more directly because for me they're less abstract. They're more representational, and they represent those things which fascinate me and which I'm sure that the ancients had an incredible number of questions about themselves. They must have been all the more mysterious, of course, in previous times when we didn't, for instance, know how far away the stars were and what gases they were made up of and what diameters they were and all that stuff that we know today, or that we think we know. We have to trust the astronomers when they tell us that certain things are hundreds of light years away. Nikki says, good evening from Wiltshire in the UK, not far from Avebury. Good evening, Nikki. Yes, another fabulous ancient landscape. Julie King says, are there any sites you haven't visited that you would like to? There are a few. I haven't been in recent history anyway. I haven't been to the Begmore or Baymore stone circles in Tyrone. I haven't been to the Giant's Ring in Belfast in so long that I can't really remember the place. I'd love to spend more time up in Sligo. I don't get over there. It's very, very, very rare. I seem to be sort of captured by the Boyne Valley, as it were. There are loads of places, you know. Somebody wants to know if I'd like to do a Zoom sometime. I'd be happy to facilitate that. Is that Aaron or Angel that's asking that? It's Aaron. Yeah, I'd be happy to do a Zoom. Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be something we could do. I have to say, and perhaps this is probably the time to say it, that I don't see Live Irish Myths continuing every day for another 100 episodes. You know, I hope that you can understand why somebody asked about, you know, the energy of it and the commitment of it. Yes, it has been a big commitment, and yes, it has taken a lot of energy. And I have stopped writing my book, and I'm not able to do the research that I'd like to be able to be doing because I'm working full time and I'm doing this in the evening, and that's taken up an awful lot of time. I see it reducing in frequency to perhaps once a week, maybe twice a week in the near future. And that way, I think we'll be better able to increase the longevity of it, the length of time that it goes on for, because you know, inevitably I will run out of material at some stage. So the Zoom thing we could do as an interim, you know, between say this episode and the next episode, we could do that, and we could invite people in on the Mythical Ireland community, on the Mythical Ireland page, on a given day and at a given time. I think that'd be a great idea. How many can Zoom facilitate? Is it 50 that can it facilitate at a maximum? I'm not sure. We don't use Zoom in work for our meetings. We use Microsoft Teams. So I'm not just quite sure about the numbers. I do think that yeah, just in relation to the reduction in the frequency, I never thought we'd get to 100 episodes, to be honest, and I'm delighted that we've gotten this far, and I'm delighted that it has spurred this huge interest that it has in our old stories and in our old monuments, and it's been very encouraging. And I think it'll be a case of absence makes the heart grow fonder. You know, that if we say do once a week, it'll be all the more special, I hope, you know. Perhaps some people who are using Zoom, I had a Zoom with over 200 people. I think it depends, doesn't it? You have to pay for it to unlock certain features, like if you want a meeting to last more than 40 minutes. And if you want more than a set amount of people, I could be mistaken, of course. As I said, I don't use it. I have it, and I've used it for one-to-one conversations, especially where those conversations were being recorded for a YouTube video. But I think that's something we could definitely do. So rather than having daily episodes that we've been having, we could have a once-a-week Live Irish Myths, and maybe the other once-a-week thing that we could do is something else, like a Zoom meeting, like do a presentation here, a PowerPoint with pictures, something along those lines. So Tracy says she has an account that can facilitate 500. So there you go. Costs more for more participants, according to one viewer. Yeah. So perhaps that's something we could investigate. Yeah, let's put that down. Okay, Aaron says I'll research it and come back to you about the Zoom possibilities. The TUA might be able to fit into one classroom, but it will not be a calm room. Well, I think there's a facility that you can mute everybody so that you don't have 100 voices all shouting at once. If I understand right, and you know, you can kind of put your hand up if you have a question or whatever. But anyway, as I say, in terms of Live Irish Myths, if we were to do it once a week, I can see it lasting for a long time into the future. Whereas if I keep doing it every day, I think it'll run out of steam probably sooner rather than later. And in any case, I hope you don't mind me saying, but I am sort of tired, not tired in a negative way, but just tired in a sort of an overwhelming kind of way. And I need to get Island finished, and the 2020 edition, which I have done a lot of work on this past week, but I need to get that to print to the printer so that I can get all the advanced orders filled out, and so that I can get into the bookshops. And that's the immediate task. But then there are other things, and I want to return to the writing that I have not abandoned, but at least a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, I realized it was impossible for me to work full time and do live myths every day and write a book. So I had to just put the book to one side for the moment. The other thing too is, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, you probably can tell from the way I talk in certain episodes that I get sort of excitable, you know. My head gets full of ideas and I run away with myself, and at times that can be a little bit overwhelming. It's like there's a million conversations going on in your head and you're being pulled in different directions with your research. There's like, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to do that. And I'm not a very organized person. Being a creative person, I actually find being really organized stressful, believe it or not. I'm very spontaneous and very creative. And I think you probably know that much anyway. But I'm not organized. And I find sometimes that it just all gets on top of me, and all of a sudden I just go into shutdown mode for a couple of days. I burn out, actually. I suffer from occasional migraines and I can't concentrate and I can't focus, and my head just becomes numb. And for 2 or 3 days, I just have to stop doing everything and just literally take a step back from the whole lot and ignore emails and ignore messages and, you know, just literally stop doing anything involving thinking and writing and trying to structure things and put things down. So I have to try to balance things as much as possible, which means that there are times when I'm like, right now, I'd love to be able to tell you about some things that are simmering inside the head. I can't for the moment. There are a couple of big projects that I want to get involved in. And the really reason for my reluctance right now is that I don't think I would be able to manage right now, as I said, for the reasons already stated. Yeah, it's about, there's a couple of people saying there, you have to care for yourself too, you know. Well, yes, Margaret Ring says 50 tabs open in the brain. It's just like a big long line of Google Chrome tabs open, you know. And I find myself sometimes that I can't stop. I'm reading till 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm getting up early in the morning, and I'm on the go again before I start work. And then my work involves me at a screen and reading all day long. And sometimes by the end of the week, you know, the head is just fried, as we say. I don't know if you say that in the States, but we say it here in Ireland. My head was fried, you know, and you just literally, this is how you feel. Just how I'm posing right there now is just how you feel. You're just like, oh, no, I can't. And so there is the other thing about portraying the face of a person who's full of zest and energy. Yeah, and enthusiasm. Of course, I'm full of zest and enthusiasm, but the energy does sometimes become exhausted, and you know, it is not an inexhaustible supply. And sometimes one just has to kind of stop for a while and just take a few breaths. And those are the times when it's nice to get back out into the landscape again, actually. And with the camera, it's not a stressful thing. It's not a stressful thing taking pictures, and that doesn't involve me concentrating. That's a lovely sort of, you know, and that time with the monuments and the landscape can be very sort of reinvigorating, re-energizing, recharging. And I'm sure a lot of the, you know, the creative people and the really busy people who are watching, you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. That there are just periods in your life where, you know, it's all go. It's a funny thing, you know, but I can't watch these videos back. You know, when you watch yourself, you see all your faults, and, you know, you just, well, I don't know if you're like that. I tend to be like that. You know, you kind of look at yourself and you're looking for the faults, and you're not seeing it in the eyes of somebody who's independent, who's saying, "Oh, that guy sounds interesting and energetic," and all the rest. But a couple of times I've seen videos. I did an interview with Emer Stassen a while back, and it struck me that the day of that video, I was extremely composed. I was very thoughtful. I paused before I spoke, and I was slow and purposeful in what I said. And I thought that in that video, I actually made a huge amount of sense, and that was the sort of ideal output level. And then I look back at some of the live Irish Myths episodes, and I'm literally, and so much so that there are comments on the screen that are saying you're talking very fast, you know. And that is, we have to sometimes, don't we, as humans, we have to just be aware of our energy levels, be aware of our output levels, and of course our input levels, what we choose to input, the stuff that we read, the stuff that we digest in conversation, the things that we take interest in. It's very important, I believe, as a person, especially as a creative, as an artist, that you have to be very able to filter that. You have to be able to say, when you see a headline and you're like, no, that's about World War III, I'm not watching that. You know what I'm saying? That's about, you know, the depletion of the ozone layer. Yeah, you want to be aware of it, but you don't want to allow it to dishearten you to the extent that it's affecting you negatively. And that's another very difficult thing to do, is the fatigue. Somebody's saying there about online fatigue, you know. And then I've seen this wonderful documentary about, some of you will remember the great children's writer Roald Dahl. And it was probably a BBC interview or a program that they did about him years ago. It would probably be 30 or 40 years ago now. And they went into his writing shed. He had a shed in the garden where he did all his writing, and he sat on an armchair, and he had a wooden board that he put across the arms of the chair, and he had a tub of pencils and a pencil sharpener, and a cardigan and a blanket if it got cold, and a little heater and a lamp. And it was the simplest thing in the world, was this man's writing shack, you know, this place where he did all this wonderful, wonderful creating. Of course, this was before the internet. He had no internet, obviously. He had no television. He had no radio in the shed. He had no distractions. There may have been a telephone, but of course, back in those times, the telephone didn't ring nearly as much. You'll find today that we are, you know, we're nearly slaves to our smartphones, because they don't just do phone calls now. There's all these different ways of messaging and emails, and it's just endless notifications. And sometimes you kind of just have to put it away. I'm conscious of that too, that I'm very, very connected, and I'm a technophile. I like technology. I'm into ham radio, and I do Morse code and stuff, and I like cameras, and I like drones, and I like editing video and all that. But sometimes there just comes a time when you have to say, is this the author of James and the Giant Peach? Yes, Alan, that is the very same. Sometimes there just comes a time when you have to say, no, I have to set these boundaries. And one of the things that I've said during lots of episodes, well, I hope I've said it enough, is that I actually find it difficult to keep up with the correspondence levels at times. And so people are reaching out via email and messaging in all sorts of ways. And everybody's looking for you to read stuff and to answer stuff and to answer questions. And look, it's lovely. Don't get me wrong. It's lovely. But there are only 24 hours in a day, and there are only 7 days in the week. And I work full time, and I have a family, a wife, 5 children, 2 dogs. Life is busy. And several other pursuits as well. So you can only there's only so much that you can do, and you have to realize your own limits at times, you know. And that is not me ending the 100th episode with a complaint, not at all. It has been a very uplifting thing, this series. It has become something that has taken on a life of its own. It is in my view, it is an extraordinary thing that so many people have been brought together with compassion and with respect. And as I said, in the brass band says B, yes, I'm also in a brass band. You know that at no point have I ever considered any of the Mythflix clan, what color your skin was, what religion you practice, what country you live in. None of that was ever important to me. It was all that was important was bringing people together for the stories. And Joseph Campbell says that there is great power in retelling a myth, in the simple retelling of it. You don't even need to explain it. Just telling the story is enormously helpful to people. Of course, if you can help them with a meaning, that's even better. Again, the pedagogical function, you know, the teaching function, because myth is there to help us get through life, because life throws all sorts of stuff at you, doesn't it? You know, I'm not worried about that level of activity. The only time I worry is when it you know, these semi-regular what do I call them, burnout periods come. You know, that then you just have to listen to the signals, and you just have to slow down and maybe pause for a few days, and it's grand, and then you get going again. I'm the sort of person who believes that you should make the absolute most of every day and every moment that you have, because look, nobody knows, do they? You know, at the end of the day, that's one of the big questions of life, isn't it? You know, what are we here for? Where do we come from? Where are we going? What happens to us when we die? Is there anything after we die? You know, and if not, well, yes, we absolutely should make every moment possible of this gift that we have. And at the moment, the word privilege is a big word in the world, because some of us are more privileged than others. I've always said, or I have long said, that I consider myself privileged to live in such a wonderful country, to live in a democratic country, to live in a country where you can express your opinion without being shot or imprisoned or tortured, that you can express the very creative side of your nature without fear of scorn. That, you know, we live in a very open society here, and I hope long may it last, you know. Somebody said to me today, a very, very good friend of mine, who I had a conversation with today on the phone, and it's curious that she should have. We were talking this evening, actually, before Live Myths, and something that she said that I took a note of after the conversation, because I thought it was very apt, and I knew that I would get a chance to say it during the episode, was that, you know, that there is a lot of darkness at the moment, and the darkness is there, and the clouds have gathered, but the light is stronger than ever. And at these moments, as far as I'm concerned, those are the things that we must remember first and foremost. We have had you know, we've had a fairly uncertain period. It hasn't ended. We don't know where it's going to go. There's a lot of uncertainty around it, a lot of anxiety around it. And you'll know from the first few episodes, I kept emphasizing that I wanted to provide something to distract us. So it became much more than just a distraction, you know. It became, in my opinion, and I'm just saying this, and this isn't about me, this is about you guys. It became a gathering of that light that my friend spoke of today. That when the clouds are dark, and, you know, where the darkness has gathered, that we must make, or we must strive to make the light shine all that more strongly. And that is what we have been doing. So thank you for helping shine the light. I think we'd probably call it a night at this stage. It's 2.5 hours, by far the longest episode we've ever had. I actually didn't top up the wine glass all night, So you didn't. I know some of you were hoping yesterday and even earlier tonight. Some of you were hoping that maybe we'll get Anthony drunk on the screen and we'll have some funny moments. But I hope you've enjoyed yourselves, and I hope that whatever you're imbibing, that it tastes nice, and that you continue to be able to enjoy it long into the future. I'm going to raise a toast to the Mythflix Tua, and that's to all of you guys, every one of you who have helped to make this what it has been. Whatever history will judge it to have been, I judge it to have been a wonderful gathering of like-minded people, of compassionate, caring human beings from all around the world, from all different walks of life, of different genders, of different skin colors and nationalities and religious and spiritual beliefs, and none. I salute you, every one of you, and I say sláinte, as we say in Ireland, sláinte, and thank you very much for participating in what has been a really, really wonderfully glorious journey. And where to next? Who knows? The road goes ever on and on down from the door where it began. Right, one request before I go. What will I read to finish the evening? Somebody shout out something that you want me to read. Let's see if there's any sort of consensus. We always do a little bit of reading. There's been a little bit of reading tonight. We should finish on something apt, I think. I'm open to suggestion and persuasion. Anne McCallum says, you've made me cry. I don't know how, Anne, that I haven't been in floods of tears tonight. It'll probably happen now when I go off air. It'll probably all get in on me. I have managed to be able to keep myself strong. Paula Snow Queen says, Monty Python. What have the Romans ever done for us? The aqueduct. Sorry? The aqueduct. Oh yes, it was the aqueduct. One of the best movie scenes ever written and composed and put together by the most wonderful actors. Your choice, says Jerry. Yeats. Short and powerful poem, please, says Esther. AE, says Tracy. Margaret read some AE, so I'll probably skip AE. I think Yeats is being asked for again. Page 15, paragraph at top of the page, Mythical Ireland, says Nora Gaffney O'Connor. Is that one in particular, or did you just... Oh, yeah. Very apt, Nora. Yes, indeed. Very apt. This is from chapter 1.1 of Mythical Ireland, the very first section, first chapter. And it is called, Tracy wants Earth from the Candle of Vision. I actually did that one by heart not too long ago. I can do it again if people want, but this is called Summer Solstice Sunrise at Newgrange. And yeah, anyway, never mind. For a moment of the year, the sun stops its run and stays a while in the northeast at dawn. But, like everything in nature, the spiral will wind down once more towards winter, when the sun will come home again. And that is it. Short and sweet. So you said you wanted something short and powerful. Let me. Oh, I don't even have it. Oh, yeah. Right. I'm only just going to put that in front of me because just in case I falter. Yes, I will read Earth. I will recite Earth again because I happen to love it. I happen to really, really, really love it, and it moves me. And that is Earth from AE. No sign is made while empires pass. The flowers and stars are still his care. The constellations hid in grass. the golden miracles in air. Life in an instant will be rent, when death is glittering, blind and wild. The heavenly brooding is intent to that last instant on its child. It breeds the glow in brain and heart. Life is made magical until body and spirit are apart. The everlasting works its will. In that wild orchid that your feet in their next falling shall destroy, minute and passionate and sweet, the mighty master holds his joy. Though the crushed jewels droop and fade, the artist's labours will not cease, and from the ruins shall be made some yet more lovely masterpiece. Oh, I love that. Love it. Thank you, folks. Good night to you all. Tomorrow is summer solstice. I will try my very best to do a live stream from one of the monuments, possibly Newgrange, possibly Douth. Douth has a summer solstice. It might be Douth. I might go to Douth during the day. Tomorrow evening's episode, yes, I am continuing daily just for the moment, and we'll make a decision soon as to when we're going to slow down the frequency, as it were, or space it out a little bit. But I have to do an episode tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode will be about the mythology and the astronomy of summer solstice and its meaning and importance in ancient times. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves this evening. It's been wonderful. It's been a fabulous celebration. My thanks to Margaret Ring, Tom King, Desiree Riley and Patricia McAteer, who all came on to say a few words. My very special thanks to Vicky Rourke for helping Ron Hicks, not just to watch the episode, but also to give us his thoughts, which were read out early on. Who else? A happy birthday again to my friend Melanie Lynn. Happy birthday, Melanie. I hope you have a great day and have a great weekend. Not sure was there anyone else, but just everybody, all of you who keep coming along to these episodes and to enjoy them. Keep yourself safe, keep washing your hands, keep using hand sanitizer when you're or anywhere in the company of people that are not in your household. Maintain your distance from them. 2 meters is what's being still recommended here, although that may reduce shortly. If you're outside among other people, wear a mask that covers both your nose and your mouth. As I say, do your best to avoid the nastiness. Keep coming back to us. Stay safe and well. This has been episode 100. Can you believe it? Absolutely fabulous. Thank you all for sharing the journey. And more anon, as they say, more tomorrow. In the meantime, the greetings of the summer solstice weekend to you. Remember that the sun is now standing still. There's so little difference in its movement that it would be imperceptible. There's absolutely no... The official time of solstice is about 11:15 p.m. Irish time tomorrow, which is about the middle of the day or the early afternoon for those of you in the United States. Actually more mid-afternoon, isn't it? But look, it's practically solstice. Unfortunately, it's completely overcast and very dull here, but hopefully the sky will break at some point tomorrow and we'll see a bit of sun shining through. In the meantime, thanks all. Slán go fóill, Ichawa, Kolosov, Mocharja Goléir, all my friends, are fud on down around the world. And thank you to all of those on YouTube. And apologies if I missed any of your questions. But in the meantime, stay safe. Banachti, Orav, Goléir, and come back tomorrow night. Slán go fóill, which means bye for now.